Chapter 1430. Feng Ling soon arrived at Lin Xian's place. The moment she entered the room, she smelled a very fragrant smell. Wu Yuhan and Lin Xian were sitting there and sucking noodles. "You're here. Get it yourself." Lin Xian grinned at Feng Ling. "Is this how you treat your guests?" Feng Ling rolled her eyes. "I'm already doing a good job by making it for you, okay? Get it yourself." Feng Ling then glared at Lin Xian and walked over. She scooped a bowl of noodles and sat beside them. Looking at Wu Yuhan, who seemed to be enjoying the food, was the food cooked by this man really that delicious? Wind Chimes tentatively took a bite. Damn. She could not help but exclaim in her heart. This taste was so delicious. She was a person who liked to eat noodles. This noodles even made her feel that it was the best noodles in her memory. "How's the taste?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "It's so-so." Feng Ling said indifferently. Then she lowered her head and continued sucking noodles. "Don't eat it if it's so." Lin Xian said as he was about to snatch it. "Go to hell." Feng Ling rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Then she lowered her head and sucked the noodles crazily. After a while, the soup was gone. It must be very delicious. This was Lin Xian's treasure. He relied on this seafood noodles to pick up girls. Just ask, how many girls did he pick up with this seafood noodles? "Do you still want to eat?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. Feng Ling paused for a moment. "Then give me another half a bowl." Feng Ling handed the bowl over. "Is one bowl okay? It's quite a lot." "Then it's barely okay." Feng Ling licked her lips. Lin Xian held back his laughter in his heart. "You don't say, although this chick is rude and unreasonable, her tsundere is also quite interesting." Lin Xian brought her another half a bowl. "When are you going back?" Feng Ling sucked the noodles and asked. "In 2 days. I'll go back after I'm done here." "I knew you were here for something." Lin Xian smiled and said, "Didn't I ask you to help me?" Wind Chime's noodles hung there, and did not suck in anymore. Then she bit off the noodles. "Bastard. I knew you were up to no good. Ha ha ha, you've already eaten the noodles. Aren't you embarrassed to not help?" Lin Xian laughed. "Umph." Feng Ling snorted and asked, "What help?" "Use the law of creation to create something with me. Then, at night, be my hired thug." "Hit who?" "The person who destroyed the Wu family back then." Feng Ling was speechless. "You came here too." Suddenly, Feng Ling realized something and turned her beautiful eyes to Wu Yuhan. "That's right. Wu Yuhan was a member of the Wu family." "Lin Xian." Feng Ling looked at Wu Yuhan with her beautiful eyes and said, "You don't say. It's quite difficult to guess. Even though we're both surnamed Wu, I never expected that someone from the Wu clan would survive. I'll help you, but..." Feng Ling looked at Lin Xian and said, "Do you know who destroyed the Wu family?" Lin Xian shook his head. "We should know tonight." "All right. Actually, I'd like to know too." Feng Ling nodded. A day passed just like that. Late at night, Lin Xian, Feng Ling, and Wu Yuhan arrived at the Wu family's old residence. "What should we do?" Feng Ling asked. Lin Xian glanced at Wu Yuhan. Wu Yuhan nodded and focused her eyes. The power of the dark fog rose from her body. In the void, a terrifying black fog power entangled, exploded, and condensed. Even though it was night, the phenomenon attracted a lot of attention. In the Feng family, Feng Qingyang was drinking tea in the courtyard and enjoying the night breeze when he suddenly saw the scene in the distance. "That's the Wu family?" Feng Qingyang's eyes focused. Could this be the Wu family's secret? Why did it appear? Feng Qingyang was extremely puzzled. Should we go and take a look? Feng Qingyang was in a dilemma. He had a rough understanding of what happened in the past, but he didn't know much. The Wu family had a good relationship with the Feng family. The main reason was that Wu Yuhan's father had a good relationship with Feng Qingyang. They weren't close friends, but they were really good friends. Therefore, Feng Qingyang had investigated a little over the years. Although he couldn't find much, he had locked onto some forces. However, he didn't have the capital to do anything. He didn't have the obligation to do so. Moreover, he had the entire Feng family. He wouldn't take such a risk. Now, such a force had appeared above the Wu family. He was curious. At this moment, in another place in Feng City, it was a mysterious place that was relatively difficult to discover. This place was located in a remote suburb. It was a mountain that had been renovated. In the eyes of others, this mountain was very famous because it was called Dragon King Mountain. There was a temple on the mountain, a temple for monks. There were quite a number of monks in the temple, about 100 of them. During festivals, some rich and powerful people would come to the mountain to pray for good luck. However, there were a few forces that knew that this mountain wasn't what it looked like on the surface. In fact, the true power of this mountain was called the Dark Alliance. What did the Dark Alliance mean? It was the strongest assassin organization in the continent. Although it didn't have the most members, its assassination success rate was the highest. The Chu family and the Feng family used to be members of this organization. Later on, the Feng family and the Chu family grew stronger and left the Dark Alliance. To be precise, the ancestors of the Chu family and the Feng family were among the founders of the Dark Alliance. One of them was the current leader of the Dark Alliance. Therefore, the members of the Dark Alliance also knew some of the movement techniques of the Chu family and the Feng family. Later on, they didn't know anything about the Dark Alliance because they no longer had any contact with each other. After destroying the Wu family, Feng Qingyang went there a few times. He vaguely saw a few traces of battle on the ground and walls. Based on these traces, he felt that it might be the Chu family and the Dark Alliance. However, he didn't investigate further. There was no need for that. The Chu family and the Feng family were about the same size, but the Dark Alliance had more experts. Moreover, the leader of the Dark Alliance should be the Tian Dao. This was the reason why Feng Qingyang didn't dare to provoke them. His ancestor was still around, but it had been 1,000 years since his ancestor broke through to the Tian Dao. He didn't know if his ancestor had reached the Tian Dao because his ancestor hadn't come out for 100 years. This was the difficulty of reaching the Tian Dao realm. Your talent might not be weak, but you might not be able to reach the Tian Dao realm. At this moment, an old man in the Dark Alliance suddenly opened his eyes. His figure disappeared on the spot and appeared on the mountain peak, looking in the direction of the Wu family. Dark fog. The dark fog has appeared? A look of surprise and confusion appeared on his face. Men. Chapter 1431. At this moment, in the messy courtyard of the Wu family, Lin Xian, Wu Yuhan, and Feng Ling were waiting in the dark. They would definitely come. As expected, in about 5 minutes, a few figures appeared in the sky above the Wu family and landed in the courtyard. The dark fog had already dissipated. It was kept by Wu Yuhan. Swish, swish, swish. The three of them landed in the courtyard and scanned their surroundings. Where's the dark fog? Wasn't it here just now? Why did it disappear? I can't feel any aura at all. Strange. Could it have been taken away by someone else? Impossible. To take away the dark fog, one must absorb it before taking it away. Otherwise, no one can take the dark fog away. It's impossible to absorb it in a short 5 minutes. By Yubiu. At this moment, Lin Xian and Wen Qim, who were hiding in the shadows, shot out silver needles at 2 of the 3 people. In fact, this was something they created from the law of creation. It was similar to a pistol, but it did not seem powerful. In fact, even a level 10 great virtual realm would die instantly. Did you think that the things they created after spending more than a day creating the law of creation would be simple? Moreover, it was absolutely silent and had no aura. So thud. 2 of the 3 figures fell to the ground and died. Ooh, there was only one left. He suddenly showed a horrified expression and his aura exploded. He subconsciously lowered his head to take a look. How did these 2 people die? How did they die? Swish, swish, swish. In the next moment, Lin Xian and the other 2 appeared beside him. It's really not easy to find you. Lin Xian stretched and looked at the man in front of him. Who are you? The man's eyes narrowed as he looked at Lin Xian. He was ambushed. However, did that mean that the dark fog was in their hands? Lin Xian and the others clearly heard the conversation between these 3 people. They must be the people from that year. Moreover, they came here with a purpose. They came here to talk about the dark mist. They also knew about the dark mist. Lin Xian then released a spatial lock, sealing the space around him. As for the realm of this person, he was at the 8th level of the Great Void Realm. To be honest, he was already a top-notch expert. However, in front of Lin Xian he was nothing. Tell me who you are. Lin Xian sat there, then stretched out his hand and made a yeah gesture. The two women behind him remained indifferent. Hey, give me a light. You guys are making me very embarrassed. Lin Xian said. Wind Chimes rolled her eyes. Wu Yuhan obediently lit a cigarette for Lin Xian. So the dark mist is in your hands? The man narrowed his eyes and asked. Law of destruction. Bang. Ah. In the next moment his arm exploded, and a scream pierced through the air. Please pay attention to the situation now. You are a prisoner. Who are you to ask questions? Lin Xian smirked. Speak. Who are you? Lin Xian took a puff of his cigarette and asked calmly. Wu Yuhan stood there with her fists clenched. Was this the culprit who massacred the Wu family back then? She really did not know what she was feeling now. She did not expect him to be standing right in front of her. Ha ha ha. You are not worthy. In the next moment he bit the poison pill in his mouth. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth and he died. Lin Xian, damn. It can't be? Men of sacrifice? Lin Xian's head hurt. No. They are assassins. Wind Chimes stared at the three corpses and said, Assassins? The rule of an assassin is to not become a prisoner and not expose any information. This is the rule that has been trained since young. They are even willing to die to not expose themselves. Wind Chimes said. Feng family and Chu family too? No. Not anymore. Feng family and Chu family are assassin families. Everyone knows that there is no need for this. Moreover, Feng family and Chu family's assassins are from their own families. Our rule is to try our best to preserve our lives even if we are exposed. Except for that place. Wind Chimes' eyes narrowed. What place? Dark Alliance. Have you heard of it? Lin Xian shook his head. Dark Alliance? I know. Wasn't it disbanded? Wu Yuhan nodded and looked at Wind Chimes doubtfully. Feng Ling shook her head. No, many years ago, Feng family and Chu family's old ancestor was one of the founders of the Dark Alliance. Later, the two families left the Dark Alliance and established Feng family and Chu family. With the help of their deep foundation, they became the top families in Feng country. However, the Dark Alliance still exists. Wind Chimes then said, the Dark Alliance has always maintained some of the rules. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility that other forces are the same. This is a relatively common situation. Actually, I have also suspected the Dark Alliance. After all, the Dark Alliance has the capital to do so. However, there is no evidence. Lin Xian walked over to investigate. It's useless. It's impossible for them to leave behind anything that could expose their identities. But it's precisely this point that makes me suspect the Dark Alliance, said Wind Chimes. Where is the Dark Alliance? Asked Lin Xian. Wind Chimes pointed in a direction. There's a monk temple on that mountain. On the surface, there are some monks inside, but in fact it's the Dark Alliance. Lin Xian. Let's take a look. Wind Chimes hurriedly shook his head. Don't go. If it's the Dark Alliance, it's best we leave first. That's because the Dark Alliance's leader is at the Heavenly Dao realm. Gasp. Lin Xian drew a gasp. That was a little exaggerated. Heavenly Dao realm. Wu Yuhan clenched her fists. At that moment, a figure suddenly landed. Father? Wind Chimes saw Feng Qingyang. Feng Qingyang was taken aback when he saw the three of them. Nonsense. Quickly return. Let's go. We'll talk at home. Feng Qingyang hurriedly said. Following that, they vanished from the spot. Among the Dark Alliance, a figure came in front of the man. Alliance leader. Speak. They're dead. The man frowned. Is it a trap? Looks like it. The Dark Alliance's alliance leader would normally head there himself. But if this matter was exposed, he would be in danger. The Dark Alliance appeared to be very powerful. And he was a heavenly Dao. However, if the three factions had evidence, even if it was the Dark Alliance, someone at the Heavenly Dao realm would come to end him. What about the target? Have you locked onto them? Asked the Dark Alliance's alliance leader. The fog of darkness was too powerful. He had to obtain it. Not at the moment. When I went over, I happened to see a few figures vanish. There were a total of 4 of them, but I can't be sure. Space. Yes. Yet that's relatively easy to find. Investigate. Yes. Alliance leader. And on the other side, Lin Xian and company were sitting in the living room of the Feng family's villa. Chapter 1432. Feng Qingyang had smoked 2 cigarettes in that short period of time. Other than the 4 of them, there was no one else in the living room. They had all been sent away by Feng Qingyang. Dad, do you know something? Fengling asked with a frown. That's right, Uncle Feng. Actually, I'm not afraid to tell you that Xiao Yuhan is from the Wu family. Feng Qingyang nodded. I know. When he went over and saw Lin Xian and the others, and also learned of Wu Yuhan's name, he knew that Wu Yuhan was definitely a member of the Wu family. This was likely the reason why Lin Xian was here. I guessed it, so I asked you to come back quickly, Feng Qingyang said. Dad, is the faction that you are so afraid of the Dark Alliance? Fengling asked. Feng Qingyang took a puff of his cigarette and nodded. Yes. I've done some research over the years, and I'm basically certain that it's the Dark Alliance. He looked up at Lin Xian and said, I'm quite familiar with the Dark Alliance. Although I can't tell anything from the 3 corpses, the location of the calluses on their hands convinced me that they are from the Dark Alliance. Is that so? Fengling frowned slightly. That'll be troublesome. She looked at Lin Xian. Feng Qingyang said, the most powerful thing about the Dark Alliance is that they have a heavenly Dao realm. In this world, there are many heavenly Dao realm demons, but most of them are neutral, or even friends of the human race. Only a few are enemies. As for the human race, there aren't many heavenly Dao. One heavenly Dao is already a heaven-defying existence. Actually, that's not necessarily the case. We don't know the existence of so many heavenly Dao, but the number of heavenly Dao is definitely beyond our imagination, Lin Xian said. Yes, that's true. But there's no doubt that the heavenly Dao is extremely powerful and terrifying. That's why I'm worried that someone saw you. Hurry back. Feng Qingyang said. So it's the Dark Alliance. Lin Xian pondered for a moment before looking at Wu Yuhan. Don't worry. Even if there's a heavenly Dao, I'll avenge you. Wu Yuhan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian, your strength is heaven-defying. You can even kill more than 20 higher void stage experts. However, the heavenly Dao is terrifying beyond your imagination. Don't be reckless. Feng Qingyang hurriedly reminded. I understand. The gap between the heavenly Dao and the 10 stars of the Great Void Stage was truly unimaginable. To put it simply, Lin Xian had personally witnessed the scene of Linglong Shui ascending to the heavenly Dao. That scene was simply unimaginable. Just that lightning was too terrifying. Even if it was Lin Xian, he wouldn't be able to reach the heavenly Dao unless he could use his domain to pull the other party's cultivation level down to the heavenly Dao. However, Lin Xian was only at the Great Void Stage 3 stars. He definitely couldn't do it. However, don't forget that Lin Xian has someone backing him up. Can we ask the 3 major forces for help? Wu Yuhan asked. No. There is no evidence. Feng Qingyang said. Moreover, the 3 major forces will have to pay a huge price. The Dark Alliance is also an organization of humans. They operate on the same principle as the assassins. Since the assassins are allowed to exist, the 3 major forces will also allow them to exist. Even if they have killed innocent people, the 3 major forces will turn a blind eye to it. As long as they don't threaten the civilians, they won't take action. The 3 major forces won't easily take action against any forces with the heavenly Dao. Wu Yuhan bit her red lips. Lin Xian smiled and said, Don't worry, I'll call for help. Feng Qingyang looked at Lin Xian. You. Could it be that you know the heavenly Dao? Lin Xian nodded. Of course. Wu Yuhan's beautiful eyes lit up. Then, a worried expression appeared on her face. There won't be any danger, right? Since the enemy already knows about it, it's fine to drag it out. There's no hurry to wait until we grow stronger. Wu Yuhan said. But what if by the time we grow up, they are gone? Don't worry, she's not an ordinary heavenly Dao. Lin Xian smiled. Since there's a heavenly Dao, I won't interfere in this matter anymore. The Wu family is a tragedy. The head of the Wu family is also my friend. Therefore, I've been secretly investigating this matter all these years. If I can take revenge, that's what I hope to see. Feng Qingyang nodded. Then, we'll take our leave first. Lin Xian stood up and said, stay at the Feng family tonight. Feng Qingyang said, it's safer. Even if the heavenly Tao comes, the Feng family is not to be trifled with. The Feng family has a powerful formation that can at least block the heavenly Tao for a while. I'm worried that you'll be exposed, Feng Qingyang said. Lin Xian was very grateful. Thank you, Uncle Feng. All right. Lingling, go and tidy up a room for Lin Xian and Yuhan. Got it. Feng Ling glanced at them and said, follow me. The three of them went to the third floor of the villa. Feng Qingyang was secretly amazed. This kid actually knows about the existence of the heavenly Tao. He even has the confidence to ask the heavenly Tao for help. He's really not simple. If Lingling has anything to do with him, it'll be good for the Feng family. Feng Qingyang muttered to himself. Go to this room. Feng Ling looked at Lin Xian and pointed at a room in front of him. Yuhan, you go to this room. Feng Ling pointed at another room. Hey. There's no need to trouble yourself. I'll share a room with Xiaoyu. Lin Xian hugged Wu Yuhan's slender waist. No. Feng Ling said. Lin Xian. Feng Ling was stunned for a moment. Then she coughed and said, the room is very small. The bed is especially small. It can't fit 2 people. Lin Xian. Aya Yuhan, why don't you sleep with me? I have a lot to talk to you about. Wu Yuhan nodded. Okay. Feng Ling glanced at Lin Xian. Then, she held Wu Yuhan's arm and led her away. You want to have sex with a girl in front of me? Dream on. I won't give it to you. I'll piss you off. That was Feng Ling's thought. Lin Xian. He shrugged helplessly and walked into the room. The bed was more than 2 meters long. Why the F***ck did you say that it could only fit 1 person? Lin Xian lay on the bed and took out his phone. Xiao Linglong DDD. Are you asleep? Are you asleep? Lin Xian sent a message to Linglong Shui. At home, although it was late at night, Linglong Shui and the rest were finally free. Little Shishir and little Tianny were asleep. Linglong Shui, Yirenbing, Linglong Yue, Bing Ling Yue, and Huangxi were eating hot pot in the living room. Huangxi realized that although this place was a little boring, it was really good. It was much more interesting than her place. Moreover, these 2 babies were so cute. Linglong Shui saw the message. Wow. This bastard actually knows how to contact you, sister, Linglong Yue mumbled. Chapter 1433. Linglong Shui sat there elegantly before accepting the video call. Xiao Linglong, I miss you. The first thing she saw was Lin Xian's despicable look. Why did she want to slap him so badly? Is there something? Linglong Shui asked lightly. Can't I video call you if there's nothing? What's the matter? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Let's eat. Hot pot. Everyone is here. Then Linglong Shui picked up her cell phone and pointed the camera at Yirenbing, Linglong Yu, Bing Ling Yue, and Huangxi. Ahem, then let me repeat myself. I miss you. Lin Xian grinned. Sure enough, people change. Huangxi ate a mouthful of beef and said lightly. What? Pretend I didn't say anything. Huangxi said lightly. Lin Xian then said awkwardly. It looks delicious. Then I'll wait for you to come back. Linglong Shui said. Why don't you eat at my place? Lin Xian said with a smile. I knew you had something to do. Linglong Yu rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Ahem, it's a trivial matter. What is it? Yirenbing asked lightly. Help me kill a heavenly Tao realm. The girls. How could killing a heavenly Tao realm be a trivial matter? If my realm was slightly higher, reaching the Great Void Realm's 7 stars, I would dare fight a heavenly Tao realm. Unfortunately, I'm only at the Great Void Realm's 3 stars. Lin Xian. You're at the Great Void Realm? Bing Ling Yue asked in pleasant surprise. That's right. I accidentally absorbed 10,000 evil bolts of lightning and advanced to the Great Void Realm. 10,000 evil bolts of lightning from one of the 12 demon gods? Linglong Shui pondered slightly. Yes. All right. When? Linglong Shui asked. Tomorrow or the day after. Linglong Shui nodded. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't help Lin Xian. Under normal circumstances, Lin Xian wouldn't need their help either. That was because he wouldn't be able to improve himself. However, he had no choice but to ask for their help. Lin Xian really couldn't do it. The heavenly Dao realm. See you tomorrow then. Linglong Shui said. Wow. Bring little Tianyi and little Shirshir over tomorrow. I want to spank them. Lin Xian said with a smile. The corners of the girls' mouths twitched. How could there be such a father? Then Lin Xian video chatted with them all the way until little Tian woke up and wanted to drink milk. Yi Rinbing wanted to feed him, but Lin Xian kept shouting that he wanted to watch. Then Linglong Shui turned off the video. Lin Xian, holy shit. It seems like they're not afraid of me even though we're not at home. Lin Xian turned off his cell phone and said sadly, then when I come out of the door of God's awakening, wouldn't they turn the world upside down? No way. I have to establish my dominance. The next day, Linglong Shui and company arrived in Wind City. They didn't need to take a plane or anything. They could just use Linglong Shui's spatial jump to easily arrive here. Holy shit. Where did this beauty come from? Heavens. Beauty? Beauty, you are humiliating them. She should be a goddess, right? That bearing, that looks. Holy shit. She's invincible. How can there be such a level of woman? When the few of them walked on the streets of the city, the number of heads turning was definitely incomparable. They were already keeping a low profile. The clothes they wore were rather ordinary, but could anyone withstand this bearing? This bearing was enough to make people fall deep into it and unable to extricate themselves. However, this group of noble and beautiful women were all stinky hooligans. They didn't know where they got their luck from. Linglong Shui carried little Shirshir while Yi Rinbing carried little Tianyi. The two little brats looked at the bustling surroundings with their big eyes. Want, mommy? Want? Little Shirshir looked at the cotton candy with her big eyes, and then pointed with her cute little finger. This little Shirshir was already 8 or 9 months old, and she was extremely smart. Basically, she could already say some simple things. Moreover, Linglong Shui really never taught her how to speak. She didn't even teach her how to call her mommy. She really called it by herself. Little Tianyi still couldn't speak, but his little finger also pointed at the cotton candy with an excited look. Linglong Shui rubbed little Shirshir's little head dotingly, and then carried her over. You can't eat it yet. Yi Rinbing looked at little Tianyi's desire, and said with a smile. Oh. Little Tianyi immediately pulled his little head. Then little Shirshir raised the cotton candy and ate happily. Little Tianyi looked at the cotton candy in her hand longingly. Here. Little Shirshir handed the cotton candy to little Tianyi. Little Tianyi happily reached out his hand and then, she pulled her hand back and ate happily. Her beautiful big eyes were filled with slyness. Little Tianyi. Piffed. The few women couldn't help but laugh. When little Tianyi and little Shirshir grow up a little Tianyi will probably be bullied to death by his sister. Yi Rinbing couldn't help but laugh. Huangshi looked at them with her beautiful eyes. To be honest, she was a little envious. She never thought that she would be envious of these things before, but after staying with them for a long time, she really liked and envied them. Anyway, I'm the boss. Linglong Shui wrinkled her cute little nose. You have to listen to me in the future. The surrounding people looked at them enviously. What kind of person could have such a woman? They were so envious that they even had a baby. Let's go. Lin Xian is waiting for us, Linglong Shui said. Following that, they walked to a private room in a particular hotel. Hey, are you saying that a heavenly Dao realm expert will be here for a meal in a while? Fengling asked while swinging her legs. Lin Xian nodded. That's right. A heavenly Dao realm expert. As the host, shouldn't you express your sincerity? Fengling grunted. Alright then. After all, it's a heavenly Dao realm senior. I'm still very careful. What sort of person is he? Heavenly Dao realm. He should be very famous, right? Logically speaking, I should have heard of his name. Lin Xian pondered slightly. He's not very famous, but he's very beautiful. Very beautiful? That can't be right. Shouldn't heavenly Dao realm experts be old men with white hair and beards? Lin Xian. Who told you that? I've seen a few of them. Furthermore, all I know are like that. In that era, one had to be very old to reach the heavenly Tao realm. Only in our era can there be a young heavenly Tao realm expert. Fengling refused to believe it. You'll know when you see him, said Lin Xian with a smile. As for Wu Yuhan, she was puzzled as well. She knew of the existence of Linglong Shui and company, but she did not know that they were at the heavenly Tao realm. To be precise, few people around Lin Xian knew that they were at the heavenly Tao realm. Dong. Dong. There was a knock on the private room's door. Coming. Coming. Fengling excitedly ran over to open the door, and then she was dumbfounded. Chapter 1434. Fengling's mouth was wide open as she looked in front of her. Why was she so stupid? Too beautiful. Every sister in front of her was so beautiful, so noble. She had never seen such a beautiful sister before. More importantly, it didn't seem like anything to see one. But why were they all so? For super beautiful, super noble immortal sisters, and a young girl, but also very pretty. I knew it, there must be girls. Ling Longyue looked at Fengling and said with a pout, "Hello, we're here to look for Lin Xian." Ling Longshui said, "Ah, okay." Fengling nodded in a daze, then hurriedly made way for them to walk in. "Wow. Why are all of you here?" Lin Xian looked at the group of beautiful and noble women, and he really wanted to have some group sports. "We're here to play," Yirimbing said indifferently. She hugged little Tian Yi and sat down. Ahihihi. Lin Xian laughed awkwardly. Wu Yuhan looked at them in shock. So beautiful, so noble. And was the Tendo that Lin Xian was talking about really her? She didn't look at Ling Longshui, who she knew. Fengling came back to her senses. They shouldn't have much of a relationship with Lin Xian, right? Although they were very beautiful, it was obvious that such a noble woman must have a special identity. Moreover, if she was the Tao of Heaven, how could she have a relationship with Lin Xian? How could Lin Xian be able to pursue such a woman? Also, they were all carrying babies. It couldn't be Lin Xian's baby, right? Unless he was the one who took over. It was impossible. Sisters, you're all so beautiful. Fengling sat down obediently and looked at them with her beautiful eyes. Really wow. All of them were super beautiful, so beautiful that it was sickening. You're also very beautiful. Ling Longshui smiled at Fengling. Wow. They were even more beautiful when they smiled. Even a woman like her was about to fall in love with them. Wow. So cute. Fengling's beautiful eyes looked at Xiao Shishir and little Tianyi, and couldn't help but exclaim, "Do you want a hug?" Ling Longshui asked with a smile. "Can I?" Wind Chimes blinked her big eyes and asked in anticipation. "Of course." Yeah. Then Fengling hugged little Shishir, and little Shishir obediently reached out her hand to let her hug her. She's so obedient. Fengling's impression of children was that once they left their mother's embrace, they would make all sorts of fuss. However, this beautiful little girl actually took the initiative to reach out and let her hug her. She's actually not a good girl, Ling Longshui said with a smile. Good girl. Fengling hugged little Shishir and swayed her gently. Do you want this? She took a piece of watermelon. Shika looked at the watermelon expectantly. Sister, can she eat it? A small piece will do. Before Fengling could react, little Shishir took a bite and ate it happily. He hadn't grown teeth yet, but watermelons were fine. So cute. I like you so much. Fengling rubbed little Shishir's cheeks. Wu Yuhan really liked these two children very much. She was carrying little Tianyi. Sister, what's his name? Little Shishir. Ling Longshui said. Sounds good. You'll definitely be super beautiful when you grow up. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, well, let's eat. Then as they ate, they introduced themselves to each other. Ling Longshui and company knew that this beautiful girl would probably be one of Lin Xian's bed members in the future, so it would definitely be very special to her. They were also used to Lin Xian's fickleness. Only Huangxi needed some time to get used to it. She still didn't know of the existence of many other girls. Against who? Ling Longshui ate a mouthful of food and looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. A heavenly Tao realm, Fengling. How many heavenly Tao stars does she have? Lin Xian asked Feng Ling. Probably 2 stars at most. Feng Ling said before looking at them with her beautiful eyes. Don't tell me. Sister is really at the heavenly Dao realm? Feng Ling looked at Linglong Shui in astonishment. So beautiful, so young. Wow. It can't be right? Lin Xian said with a smile. Guess how many heavenly Dao there are among these few? Feng Ling. And there's more than one? She gaped her tiny mouth. When do we take action? Linglong Shui said lightly. Since we're here, let's do it tonight. Okay, sure. Feng Ling looked at them in astonishment. What sort of man was worthy of such a woman? Furthermore, it was a heavenly Dao. Then shall we go out and have some fun after dinner? Lin Xian asked. Anything is fine. After dinner, they had fun the entire afternoon. Then they booked 2 rooms and went in to rest. Lin Xian, Lin Xian, Lin Xian. Feng Ling secretly called Lin Xian out. What's the matter? Who are they? Feng Ling asked curiously. She was too embarrassed to ask while eating and going out to have fun. Guess. Bastard. Tell me. She glared at Lin Xian. My wives. Pfft. Feng Ling felt like she had heard the world's greatest joke. Duh. Quick, tell me. In this day and age, no one believed the truth? Guess for yourself. Lin Xian then walked into the room. If you don't want to tell me, I'll ask. Feng Ling then went to another room. On the bed, little Shirshir was extending her hand to Tiany's mouth. The silly Tiany was still moaning with his tiny mouth. Wu Yuhan was sprawled there as she looked at them curiously. Lin Xian and Huang Shi were in another room. As for what they were doing, it looked like they were chatting. Sister Linglong Shui. How did you get to know Lin Xian? Feng Ling asked out of curiosity. It's been quite a while. As for how we got to know each other, I guess you won't get to know each other without a fight, Linglong Shui said. It's quite fascinating. He actually knows several heavenly Dao realm existences. Furthermore, all of you are willing to help him, Feng Ling said. Bing Lingyue said with a smile. It's nothing if we're a family. Ah, a family? Feng Ling was taken aback. Don't you know? Bing Lingyue looked at her. Feng Ling shook her head in a daze. Actually, when Lin Xian invited them over and even allowed them to take care of the baby, they knew that Lin Xian wasn't afraid of her finding out. Then take your time to figure it out, Bing Lingyue said with a smile. Feng Ling. It can't be right? It can't be right? It can't really be. Then this baby. It's his. Yuranbing said with a smile. Feng Ling. Wu Yuhan. That's right. Even Wu Yuhan was dumbfounded, much less Feng Ling. This? Hey. What's the matter? Lin Xian looked at Huang Shi in front of him. Nothing. Let me see the myriad evil lightning. Huang Shi said. Lin Xian then extended his hand as black lightning coiled around his palm. Why are you looking at it? Huang Shi shook her head. It's nothing. Let's go to the other room. Lin Xian. Baffling. Chapter 1435. There was nothing wrong with Huang Shi asking this question. It was just that the demon god who controlled the 10,000 demonic lightning was a friend of hers. This friend of hers, how should she put it? She had gone astray, but there was nothing she could do about it. She had only heard that Lin Xian had obtained the 10,000 demonic lightning, so she came over to take a look and reminisce about it. In the other room, Feng Ling was dumbfounded. They were all Lin Xian's women. They really were. These beautiful sisters were all so noble and powerful. They were all Lin Xian's women? This might not be a big deal, but they had all given birth to a beautiful daughter and son for Lin Xian. Wow. Why? She did not understand where Lin Xian got his charm from. How could he attract such women? Oh my God. Hello, beautiful ladies. Lin Xian and Huang Shi walked into the room. Little Shirshir hug. Lin Xian smiled and carried little Shirshir. Little Tian blinked his eyes as he watched Lin Xian carry little Shirshir. Then he stretched out his hand and asked for a hug. You don't want to hug. Lin Xian glanced at little Tian. Then little Tian pouted. Wow. It can't be? He's so young. Why do I feel like he can understand Lin Xian's words? Feng Ling and Wu Yuhan were shocked. It was true. He acted as if he could understand everything. They're very smart. Erenbing looked at her precious son and said, "Little Tiani, do you like him?" Erenbing pointed at Lin Xian. Little Tian shook his little head. Fengling. Oh my god. This is too scary. He can really understand? He's only a few months old. This? It's too scary. And they were already used to it. Big brother, little Tiani ate little Shirshir's cock just now. Dragoni flew out from Ling Longyue's embrace and said. Fengling and Wu Yuhan also saw Dragoni. They didn't see her earlier because she was sleeping in Ling Longyue's arms and in her backpack, so they didn't notice her. When Fengling saw Dragoni, she was even more dumbfounded. Dragons, these are dragons. Oh my god. Just what kind of monsters were by Lin Xian's side? Dragons and little girls? She was stunned. Really? Did you put your foot there on purpose again? Lin Xian pinched little Shirshir's cheeks. Little Shirshir snorted proudly. Fengling secretly opened her small mouth. It was too frightening. Seriously. His worldview was about to collapse. The two little ones looked like they were 5, 6, 7 or 8 years old, or maybe even older. Fengling, can we kill anyone from the Dark Alliance? Lin Xian asked. Fengling thought for a while and said, according to father, although the Dark Alliance isn't an evil organization, but 90% of them are puppets. They have lost their souls and only have battle power. They listen to orders and are death warriors. Only a small number of them still have their own consciousness and can be killed. Then there's no problem. Let's rest and set off at night. Wu Yuhan stood up and bowed to them. Thank you for your help. The corners of Erenbing's mouth curled up as she said, then you should properly serve this person on the bed. Lin Xian. Fengling was shocked. These beautiful and noble sisters were Lin Xian's girlfriends. She could accept it for now, but they all accepted Lin Xian having multiple wives? Wow. Is this world crazy? Late at night in the Dark Alliance. Did you find anything? The leader of the Dark Alliance sat there and asked. Leader, we haven't found anything yet, but we have some clues. We've narrowed it down to a small area. We should be able to find the target in less than a day. If you suspect anyone, capture them all. As long as they have the fog of darkness in them, there shouldn't be a problem. Yes. At this moment, Lin Xian and his group walked up the mountain in the middle of the night. Leader, there's a group of people walking up the mountain. Another person ran over and said, Are they here to pay their respects? Don't they know that it's forbidden to pay respects in the middle of the night? You can settle this small matter. The leader of the Dark Alliance didn't take it to heart. Actually, many people came because of the reputation. Some people didn't know the rules here, and might come at night. To him, this was normal and didn't need to be too concerned. Leader, they don't look simple. The leader of the Dark Alliance frowned. Not simple. No, there are a few women who are especially beautiful and noble. They don't look like ordinary people. They probably have cultivations too, and not too low. For example, why would some martial artists with high cultivation come here to pay their respects? Be careful. Yes. Outside, they walked up just like that. Gentlemen, you're not allowed to pay respects in the middle of the night. Halfway up the mountain, a few people who looked like monks stopped them. I'm not here to pay respects. Lin Xian looked at them and said, Who are those people? In the next moment they fell to the ground. Lin Xian smirked. I'm here to kill. Xiao Linglong. Linglong Shui's delicate body exploded with a powerful force. Her eyes focused and her hair danced wildly. Then a terrifying spatial seal completely sealed this place. If you want to break through the seal of the Void Fox, you'll need to be much stronger than her. Or you'll need to spend a lot of time and energy. Wah, 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 wah. Wu Yuhan, who was hugging little Shirshir, seemed very excited at this scene. She clapped her tiny hands happily. Little Tiani, who was in Fengling's embrace, was the complete opposite. He looked a little scared. Lin Xian expressed his helplessness. Bro, you're a man. Although you're the younger brother, why do I feel like the two of you have opposite personalities? It was probably as Renbing said. When they grew up, little Tiani would be bullied to death by little Shirshir. And this aura was sensed by everyone in the Dark Alliance. A strong enemy has arrived. The leader of the Dark Alliance narrowed his eyes. And it was a strong enemy with spatial attributes? Whoosh! More than 100 Dark Alliance experts leaped up in the night and stood in the void. Wu Yuhan's eyes focused as she stared at the people above. She secretly gritted her teeth. She did not know who did it, but there was definitely an enemy of hers here. The enemy who killed her parents, her entire family's enemy. Gentlemen, what's the meaning of this? As a heavenly Dao realm existence, the leader of the Dark Alliance naturally sensed that the spatial seal was a heavenly Dao. To be honest, he did not expect a heavenly Dao realm existence to come to his Dark Alliance. It was best if he did not take action. Even if he admitted defeat, he would not take action. The spatial heavenly Dao was too powerful. Chapter 1436. Lin Xian looked up at the person who spoke. You're the leader of the Dark Alliance? That's right. And you are? Lin Xian asked. Were you the one who wiped out the Wu family? The leader of the Dark Alliance frowned. Were they here to investigate the Wu family? Hee, I'm a heavenly Dao realm cultivator. Why would I touch the small Wu family? Are you guests from the 3 major factions? The leader of the Dark Alliance said with a smile. The people who were here to investigate were likely from the 3 major factions. However, the possibility wasn't high, because the fog of darkness appeared yesterday, and they were here today. Could it be that the fog of darkness was in their hands? If that was the case, he was willing to fight this battle. It was just Tian Dao. Although he was very strong, he should not forget where he was. This was the headquarters of the Dark Sect. This was his territory. The Dark Sect had existed for so many years. It was not as simple as just having a few experts and some people. We're not from the 3 major factions. We're here for revenge. Hee, you're here for revenge with your entire family? Interesting. But what feud do we have? The leader of the Dark Alliance laughed. Xiao Yuhan. Wu Yuhan nodded and her aura exploded. The fog of darkness exploded. So now, do we have a feud? The leader of the Dark Alliance's eyes lit up the moment he saw the fog of darkness. Ha. Fog of darkness. You were the people from last night? So you admit it. To the leader of the Dark Alliance, the temptation of the fog of darkness was too great. They should be the heavenly Dao. How could a heavenly Dao be so easily obtained? Did they think that one heavenly Dao with the space attribute was enough? In fact, everyone thought so too. But it wasn't that simple. Haha. Activate the array. The leader of the Dark Alliance sneered. The next moment, the entire mountain lit up with a powerful array. This array trapped them all. This is the spirit-devouring array. Huangxi smiled in her heart. That's great. Bing Lingyue glanced at her. What a pity. If it was the complete great spirit-devouring array, we might have died here. As the most terrifying array for the heavenly Dao, we still have to pay attention to it. But what a pity. In this world, other than me, no one else knows the complete great spirit-devouring array. Huangxi said. Then it's fine. Yurenbing said lightly. However, the leader of the Dark Alliance didn't know anything. That's right. Back then, the Wu family was indeed exterminated by this old man personally. So what? You are a surviving member of the Wu family? The Dark Alliance master looked at Wu Yuhan. Wu Yuhan put away the dark mist, and Bing Lingyue took little Shirshir and held her in her arms. Tonight, I will have my revenge for the extermination of my sect. Ha. Just a spatial heavenly Dao realm? You guys are thinking too simply. Have you heard of the Great Spirit Devouring Array? Not to mention one heavenly Dao. Even if there were 5 heavenly Dao in this Spirit Devouring Array, all of you would still die. The leader of the Dark Alliance laughed out loud. Oh, is that so? Huangxi curled her lips and came to a spot as her aura surged. Boom! She threw a punch at that spot. At the same time, the leader of the Dark Alliance's pupils constricted. What the hell? What the hell was that? Your incomplete version of the Great Spirit Devouring Array is gone. What about now? Huangxi looked up at him with a curl of her lips. How can that be? How is that possible? How can you know of the Great Spirit Devouring Array? In this world, other than me, how can anyone else know of the Great Spirit Devouring Array? he roared in horror. Then, do you know that the person who created the Great Spirit Devouring Array is a person named Lin Mo? Huang Shi curled her lips. Lin Xian scratched his head and glanced at her. She looked strangely familiar. I see. Yi Renbing curled her lips slightly. Bing Lingyue also glanced at Lin Xian. Everyone attack. The next instant, his gaze landed on Linglong Shui. Let this sovereign experience the strength of a heavenly Dao realm spatial expert. Lin Xian secretly shook his head. My wives do your best. Lin Xian sat there. So Yi Renbing, Huang Shi, and Bing Lingyue charged forward together. Wah. Dragoni and Xiao Shishir were clapping their hands excitedly while Ling Longyue and Bing Lingyue were standing there. Bing Lingyue had yet to reach the heavenly Dao realm, and there was no need for her to do anything. What? Sensing the three auras, the Dark Alliance experts were dumbfounded. 3 heavenly Dao? 3 heavenly Dao? Soaring phoenix wings. Roar. A phoenix let out a long cry. Dragon roars to the 9 heavens. Roar. The illusory image of a black dragon also appeared. The dragon and phoenix merged into one, spiraling as they charged straight up. Spatial blast. Boom. The crowd that rushed over was easily killed by the spatial blast. Spatial seal. The next instant, Linglong Shui released a spatial seal on the heavenly Dao. He had no way to dodge. Boom. The dragon and phoenix slammed into his body. Puffed. A phenomenon appeared in the sky, attracting the attention of many commoners in Wind City. At the foot of the mountain, Feng Qingyang stood there with his mouth agape at the scene. These are the people Lin Xian found? He was dumbfounded. The fact that Lin Xian could find a heavenly Dao was already shocking enough. Furthermore, there was more than one heavenly Dao. The reason why they had to attack in the middle of the night was because Feng Ling said that there would not be any ordinary people near the mountain. Otherwise, it would not be easy to attack in the day. Plop! The Dark Alliance leader's charred body fell to the ground. It was that simple. It was really that simple. Actually, it was not simple. The main reason was that they were too strong. They were not ordinary heavenly Dao realm experts. Furthermore, the main reason was that they had space. Otherwise, he would have been able to dodge. Seriously, this sucks. Yi Renbing landed and clapped her hands. Feng Ling. The heavenly Dao was gone just like that? Fascinating. Fascinating. Lin Xian clapped his hands. To think you can escape from sister's spatial seal. How young. Ling Longyue grumbled. Lass, I'll leave it to you. Huang Shi landed and glanced at Wu Yuhan with her beautiful eyes. Shua. Wu Yuhan conjured her spirit artifact. Cough, cough, cough. The heavenly Dao's Dark Alliance leader coughed out a mouthful of blood as he lay there with heavy injuries. He attempted to struggle up, but he had no strength at all. He could not even open his eyes. There was nothing he could do. Huang Shi and Yi Renbing's realms were above his. It was normal for their combined attack to injure him to such an extent. Spare me. The Dark Alliance leader said in a muffled voice. Shua. Wu Yuhan's eyes turned red as she slashed off his arm. Ah! With another slash, his other arm was chopped off. Shua. Another strike. Left leg, right leg, shua shua shua. Die! Wu Yuhan roared as tears streamed down her face. She constantly slashed at his body in a frenzy. Chapter 1437. Wu Yuhan slashed the corpse with all her might as if she had gone mad. The corpse was already beyond recognition from her slashes. Lin Xian and the rest stood not far away, not making a sound. Lin Xian knew that Wu Yuhan was venting her anger. After so many years of hatred and searching, the culprit who had annihilated the Wu family was here. The anger, hatred, and grievances that she had suppressed in her heart for too long all exploded at this moment. They all understood. After a long time, Wu Yuhan stabbed the sword in her hand into the ground. She half knelt there and panted heavily, tears dripping down her face. Feng Ling bit her red lips and looked at her. She couldn't understand Wu Yuhan because she had never experienced this before. However, she could understand and understand. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over and gently patted her on the shoulder. It's over. Wu Yuhan stood up and wiped her tears. Then, she buried herself in Lin Xian's arms and sobbed. Lin Xian patted her back lightly. Let's go back first. Yirenbing said. Okay. Linglong Shui looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. We'll go back first. After speaking, they disappeared on the spot, leaving Fengling alone. Okay. Lin Xian smiled and wiped the tears on her face. It's over. Wu Yuhan nodded. Yes, it's over. Sorry, I forgot myself. On the contrary, I'm more relieved now. Lin Xian smiled and hugged her shoulder as he looked into the distance. Come here. Lin Xian waved at Fengling and Fengling walked over. What? Shouldn't we hug at this time? Lin Xian smiled and hugged Fengling with his other hand. Fengling was speechless. Go to hell. She stomped hard on Lin Xian's foot. Xiao Yuhan, you haven't paid your respects to your parents since you came here. As their son-in-law, I should go, right? Lin Xian said as he looked at Wu Yuhan. Let's go then. Then they walked down. Dad. Below them, they saw a stunned Feng Qingyang. Cough, I'm just here to take a look. Have you taken your revenge? Fengling nodded. Yes, the Dark Alliance is gone from today onwards. All right. Feng Qingyang glanced over. What about the seniors? They left, Lin Xian said. So be it. Go back and rest, Feng Qingyang said. I will go with Lin Xian and the others to visit Wu Yuhan's family. Fengling said. Okay, go ahead. After paying their respects, the three of them went to a 5-star hotel and ordered a bunch of delicious food. Wu Yuhan seemed to be in low spirits. Even though she had taken her revenge, she still needed some time to get over it. It's on me tonight. Fengling said. Oh, needless to say, you actually took the initiative to treat me. I'm Qingjie. Get lost, I'm treating you, Han. It's none of your business. Also, I'll settle the score with you for hugging me earlier. Fengling glared at Lin Xian. All right, I'll wait. Lin Xian nodded. Xiao Yuhan, cheer up. Lin Xian looked at Wu Yuhan. Wu Yuhan nodded. Smile. I won't. If you don't smile, I'll kiss your lips until they're swollen in front of everyone. Wu Yuhan was speechless. Get lost. She rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. I'll tickle you. Lin Xian smiled and stretched out his hand. Ha. Don't tickle me, don't tickle me. Wu Yuhan couldn't help but laugh. Fengling looked at this scene and sighed inwardly. This is good, right? Lin Xian pinched her pink cheeks. Hey Lin Xian, how did you get to know Sister Linglong Shui and company? They are so beautiful and noble. Furthermore, they are very powerful demons at the heavenly Dao realm. Not only did you woo them, you even little Tianyi and little Shirshir. Fengling was truly dumbfounded. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. It's fate. It's really fate. Scram. You managed to woo so many noble sisters just because of fate? Quick, tell me. It's really fate. It's mainly shamelessness. Wu Yuhan said. That makes sense. I think shamelessness is definitely an important factor. Fengling nodded. If I woo you, won't you know how I woo them? Lin Xian smiled at Fengling. Scram. Darn scumbag. Yuhan, I don't know what you're thinking. This person probably has many women. Can you accept it? Fengling looked at Wu Yuhan. It's all the same. Wu Yuhan said. Fengling gaped her tiny mouth. How did Lin Xian train them to be so reasonable and magnanimous? Lin Xian really didn't do anything. If anything, it was his charm. He got them to be willing. Charm sure is troublesome. Lin Xian, tell me. How many women do you have? Fengling asked. Lin Xian, how many? That was really too many. 20? If you asked Lin Xian to think now, Lin Xian might even want to forget some people. Lingying Han Chuxue, Linglong Shui, Yirenbing, Huangxi, Bing Lingyue, Morongyu Wu Yuhan Lan Xingxing Lu Yufan Miao Xiao Miao, Bai Xianxian, Luo Chenxi, Wang Xintong, Leng Wuxin. They could be counted. Xiao Runing should be counted too. Then there were some who were predetermined but not counted. Yi Xiao Xinyue, and Xian, Morongqing Ziqiyue Linglongyue, Zhao Yunqi. That should be enough? Anyway, there were too many. Oh right, there was Fengling. Oh right, there was one more. Wu Yunhua should be counted too, right? There were two more. Yirenbing's Palm, Shuebingxin and Shuebinglan. Oh right, there was also little fairy Linya. What? Little longer? No, no, no. She was too young. Damn. 20 was not enough. There were more than 20. There should be no more, right? Who else is there? Everyone comment. You might forget. Feng Ling. Wu Yuhan. To be honest, when Lin Xian thought about it, he was dumbfounded. Damn. So many? Does this mean that all the beautiful girls I know are the same? Wu Yuhan glanced at Lin Xian. Did this mean that all the 6 girls in her team who were participating in the Tianwu conference were the same? What the heck? Cough, cough. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Feng Ling. Why? Was this Lin Xian really that good? Can your body do it? Feng Ling looked at Lin Xian in shock. Xiao Yuhan, tell him if my body can do it. Lin Xian smiled. No. Wu Yuhan shook her head and said. Lin Xian. Ptahaha. Feng Ling could not help but laugh out loud. So it can't, ha ha ha. Feng Ling laughed until she was convulsing. Just you wait. Lin Xian glared at Wu Yuhan. However, Feng Ling was really shocked. This Lin Xian was simply invincible. Are you going back tomorrow? Feng Ling asked after she finished laughing. Chapter 1438. The matter here was already over. Lin Xian really didn't come here to play. It was really for Wu Yuhan's matter. Go back. I'll go back tomorrow. Lin City still has a group of beautiful girls waiting for me. Every day they say they miss me. Sight being too charming is really a troublesome matter. Lin Xian sighed. Get lost. Feng Ling rolled her eyes in displeasure. The most displeased person was actually the happiest man. Are you going? Lin Xian asked. I'm going. You said you would treat me to a meal. Feng Ling said. Of course I'll introduce you to a friend. Feng Ling also wanted to know. She wanted to see if the girls around Lin Xian were all beautiful. Anyway, Murong Yu Lingying and Han Chushua were all super beautiful. Humph. Feng Ling snorted. On the other side, Duan Ling Xiao. Duan Ling Xiao couldn't contact Chu He anymore. However, the matter in Feng Nation had already happened. It was impossible for him to know instantly. Unless it was reported on the news. What's going on? Why isn't Chu He replying? Duan Ling Xiao frowned and kept pacing. He was even a little scared. He was worried that something had happened to Chu He. If something happened to Chu He, something might happen to him too. Although he was already very careful to contact Chu He and didn't leave any loopholes, he didn't use the method of chatting. Instead, he used a voice message. Unless Chu He recorded it. So he was worried. If this Chu He wasn't human, if he was caught and something happened to him, if he was exposed, would he be in danger? The key point was that it was very strange that he couldn't contact Chu He. It made him feel uneasy. Young master, young master. At this time, a young man ran into his villa. What's the matter? Duan Ling Xiao asked. Young master, quickly look at the news. Duan Ling Xiao then opened the news. Today's report, Feng Nation's Chu family's head is suspected of attempted murder and has been arrested by the temple. What? Duan Ling Xiao frowned. Such a big matter actually happened to the Chu family? Could it be Lin Xian? What about Chu He? Did you find out anything? Duan Ling Xiao hurriedly asked. This. Young master. We don't have anyone over there, and we haven't received any news. Unless we go over there, or if someone over there knows about it, then we will know about it. Ha! Son, good news, good news. At this moment, Duan Tianming walked in with a smile. Father. Duan Ling Xiao stood up. What good news? You've entered the God's awakening door. Duan Tianming looked at Duan Ling Xiao and said. Duan Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly lit up. What? Is Lin Xian dead? Duan Ling Xiao asked excitedly. It's not Lin Xian. Duan Tianming frowned when he heard Lin Xian's words. That is. Chu He. Duan Ling Xiao. Chu He is dead. Yeah, Lin Xian killed him. Duan Ling Xiao. To be precise, Chu He and more than 20 great void stage experts from the Chu clan tried to assassinate Lin Xian, but they were all killed by Lin Xian alone. Duan Tianming said. What? Duan Ling Xiao revealed an expression of disbelief as his eyes widened. How is that possible? It's impossible. Someone else might have interfered, but Chuhi's death is a fact, and the Chu clan is basically finished. Duan Tianming said. Because Chuhi is dead, and the one handling this matter is coincidentally the sacred temple, the news came quickly. There are 10 spots in the God's Awakening door. Since he is dead, you are naturally the 11th to enter the 10th place. Duan Lingxiao took a deep breath. It was a pity. It wasn't Lin Xian who was dead, but Chuhi was dead. He was also in the top 10. It was a pity that it wasn't Lin Xian who died. But he was already very satisfied. It was just that, damn it. Was this Lin Xian really that hard to kill? I got it. I will prepare for the God's Awakening door, and try to step on Lin Xian when I come out. Duan Lingxiao clenched his fists and said. Did you interfere in this matter? Duan Tianming asked. Duan Lingxiao quickly shook his head. Why would I interfere in this matter? I guess there was some conflict between Lin Xian and Chuhi. Coincidentally, Lin Xian went to Feng Nation and gave Chuhi this opportunity. And it's best if it wasn't you. Remember, don't provoke that Lin Xian. He's definitely not as simple as he looks. Moreover, he has advanced to the Absolute Void stage. You are not his match. Advanced to the Absolute Void stage? Duan Lingxiao clenched his fists. I don't care what happens to you in the future. And I don't care what you can obtain in the God's Awakening door. Once you enter the God's Awakening door, you must remember not to make an enemy of that Lin Xian. Of the 10 people who enter the God's Awakening door, 6 of them are women, including Zhuge Feng and Feng Ling. They are basically Lin Xian's friends. And you will be alone and helpless. Duan Lingxiao nodded. I know. After I go, I will do everything to improve myself. And, you must remember. No matter where you are, you must control your emotions. If you can't endure small things, you will mess up big plans. Understood, Father. And prepare for the God's Awakening door. During this period of time, see if you can break through to the Absolute Void stage. If you can, I will be more at ease when you enter with your Absolute Void stage cultivation. Okay. Duan Tianming then walked away. Duan Lingxiao clenched his fists. Lin Xian. This young master doesn't believe that you will survive in the end. He really wanted to kill Lin Xian. However, he felt that this person was a King cockroach. He felt that if it were him, he would have died a long time ago. However, Duan Tianming was completely fine. Everyone stop for a moment. Lin Xian is coming back. Let's make a feast together. In the Gale mercenary group, Lu Yufan clapped her hands and said, they did a lot of things together now. They leveled up together, ate, drank, and had fun together. In any case, Lin Xian's women were divided into a few groups. They played with each other the most and were often together. Lu Yufan's group, Ling Longshue's group, Ling Ying's group, Bai Xuanchuan's group, Morong Qing's group, and so on. Lan Xingxing was, of course, in Ling Ying's group. However, she often came here to play because there was a big celebrity that she liked very much. Zichiyue really liked this kind of life. As their big sister, she also got along very well with them. Wow. Lin Xian is coming back. Zhao Yunqi's beautiful eyes lit up. Then I'll go buy ingredients. Yi said. I'll accompany Yi. Zichiyue smiled. Then what should I do? An Xian asked. Big sister and accompany me to knead the noodles. Lin Xian likes to eat handmade noodles, Zhao Yunqi said. Okay. An Xian nodded happily. Miao Xiaomiao, Lu Yufan, and the others also began to practice. Chapter 1439. Lin Xian brought Feng Ling and Wu Yuhan here. The group of beautiful girls had already prepared a meal, and were waiting for Lin Xian's arrival. Hello everybody, I'm back. Lin Xian ran in. Then all the girls were pleasantly surprised. Until Feng Ling and Wu Yuhan, who were behind Lin Xian, appeared. It wasn't that they were hostile. Damn, he brought beautiful girls back again. When Feng Ling walked in, she was dumbfounded. So many beautiful girls, so many. At first, she thought that Lin Xian wanted to bring her to see Lingying, Han Chuxue, and the others. Only now did she realize that there was another group? Wait. You're an Xian? Feng Ling opened her mouth and looked at an Xian. I remember you. I saw you when I watched the live broadcast of the Tianwu conference. An Xian looked at Feng Ling and said, "Wow. It's really an Xian." At this moment, Zichiyue walked out with soup. "The soup is here." Heavenly consort Zichiyue? Feng Ling opened her mouth wide. An Xian and heavenly consort Zichiyue were here too? Could they also be Lin Xian's women? Impossible, right? What the F***ck? Hello. Zichiyue smiled and nodded at an Xian. Heavenly consort, you're also Lin Xian's woman? Everyone was stunned for a moment. Zichiyue smiled and said, "No, I'm here to play. I'm temporarily staying here and improving my realm with everyone. After all, if I don't improve, I'll be old." Fortunately, Feng Ling let out a long sigh of relief. She was almost scared to death. "However, if someone is willing, I can consider it," Zichiyue said as if she was joking. Feng Ling. Cough, cough, cough. "Let's eat," Lin Xian said with a smile. Then Lin Xian looked at Feng Ling and said, "This is the meal I'm treating you to." Feng Ling. "Bastard. You. She pointed at Lin Xian. "Humph. There will be a next time anyway." Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Yes. There will be a next time." Next time? "The next time this young master brings a dozen or so girls to eat together. You still have the nerve to order a bunch of expensive things there? You still want to trick me? Maybe in the next life." They then sat together. "Who made the seafood noodles?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "Me, little Meow Meow, and Sister Chiyue," Zhao Yunqi said with a red face. Not bad. The handmade noodles are chewy. You put a lot of effort into it." "Tisk, who made it for you? We knew that a friend was coming over, so we made it for our friend and gave it to you to eat." Meow Xiao Meow said with her cute little nose wrinkled. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. Then Lin Xian glanced at everyone's cultivation. They had all improved quite quickly. Feng Ling was scared to death. An Xian was also here. Zichiyue was also here. Oh my god. "Lin Xian, are you bringing us to grind levels tonight?" An Xian asked. "Me. I'll pass. Let her bring us." Lin Xian pointed at Feng Ling. "She's an expert who's almost at the virtualization stage. Moreover, she has the spatial attribute. She can protect you guys." Lin Xian smiled. "Wow. Is that okay?" An Xian looked at Feng Ling. Feng Ling nodded repeatedly. "Of course, no problem. I'm also here to make friends. Let's go together." Okay. We won't bring this stinky hooligan. Even if he wants to go, we won't let him go." Lu Yufan glared at Lin Xian. Yi held back her laughter. They then chatted happily. It was even difficult for Lin Xian to interrupt. "By the way, Lin Xian, do Sister Linglong Shui and the others also live in Linan City?" Feng Ling suddenly asked. Lu Yufan nodded. Yes. Feng Ling, you know them too. Let's go play with them tonight. We haven't seen them for a long time, but we often play games together. Lin Xian, damn. No. Lin Xian hurriedly said. Feng Ling knew that they had given birth to his baby. Lin Xian didn't care about it. Even if he didn't pursue her, Lin Xian didn't think it was a problem. However, if these girls knew, then he... Wow. Why? They looked at Lin Xian in confusion. They went on a trip. Nonsense. Yesterday, Sister Linglong Shui said that she welcomed me to her place as a guest. I just forgot to ask her where she was. Since she said so, how could she go on a trip? Feng Ling rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. I know why this person is here and is afraid to let us go. Meow Xiao Meow said. Why? They all looked at Meow Xiao Meow curiously. Because this person made Sister Linglong Shui pregnant. She even gave birth to a baby. So it's because of this. Damn hooligan, scumbag Tui. Tui. Lin Xian, damn. Why did it feel like they all knew? You're still hiding it from us? Damn scumbag. Lu Yufan glared at Lin Xian. No, Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Last time, Sister Linglong Shui and the others went out to play. Coincidentally, we also went out to play and bumped into them. Everyone knows. Meow Xiao Meow said unhappily. Seriously, why did you tell us such a big thing? We didn't even have time to buy gifts. The baby is already so big, and we only know about their existence. Ah. But they're so cute. They're really cute. It's true. Little Shirshir is so smart. Little Tianny is also super smart. I was shocked at that time. Zhao Yunqi nodded and said. Then Ling Ying and the others. Lin Xian coughed dryly and asked. We all know. They rolled their eyes. How could they not know why Lin Xian didn't tell them? But many of them actually knew some things in their hearts. For example, those girls might be Lin Xian's women. Since they didn't choose to leave even though they knew, it meant that they had thought it through and didn't care about these things. Lin Xian, damn. He's really a scumbag. Feng Ling mumbled. But didn't these girls blame him? Actually, if there were fewer girls, they might blame Lin Xian. But if there were more girls, they wouldn't blame him. Why? They would think that if so many girls could accept this, why couldn't she? Moreover, they were all good friends and played very well. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't do anything at all. It was all these girls' own strategies. Ahem. Lin Xian was indeed embarrassed and coughed dryly. Then let's find a chance to gather everyone together. Lin Xian said. Then tonight? Zichiyue asked with a smile. Okay. Lin Xian nodded. Since everyone knew, what was there to be afraid of? In the afternoon, Lin Xian played with them for the whole afternoon. At night, he went to Linglong Shui and the others' place. Chapter 1440. Ling Ying and the others were basically at home and had not returned. Originally, they didn't plan to go home. However, since that bastard Lin Xian went somewhere else, they felt that it would be better to stay in Lin and City for a while. After all, they would be away from home for 3 months. 3 months in the God's Awakening door, so it was better for them to accompany their family. Xiao Xinyue, Xiao Runing, and the rest also went back. Wu Yuhan was the only one here. Wang Xintong also went to accompany Qin Feng. Where's that Huangxi? Lin Xian asked in surprise. She went back. Bing Lingyue said. She went back? Isn't it good to stay here? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Maybe she still likes that place. But she said that she would come here often. It's easy for her to come here. Okay then, let's go out for dinner. Lin Xian laughed. Okay. I my little sweetheart. Lin Xian carried little Shirshir. Hey little Tianny, aren't you going to carry her? Yi Runbing glared at Lin Xian. I like daughters. Lin Xian scratched little Shirshir's nose. Ugh. Little Tianny pouted. You favor girls over boys. Lin Xian laughed. Not really. I like all of them. How can I not like my baby? It's just that girls need to be spoiled while boys need to be independent. Little Dragoni thinks that little Tianny needs to be spoiled. Little Dragoni flew to Lin Xian's shoulder. Oh. Why? Little Shirshir bullies little Tianny every day. Ha ha. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. You're not tough at all. Next time little Shirshir sticks out her tongue, bite her. Lin Xian pinched little Tianny's cheeks. Even if I bite her, she has no teeth. Ling Longyue said. That's true. Lin Xian laughed. Let's go out and play. Chenxi, Lin Xian wants to have dinner with us. Let's go. Morong Qing put on her coat. Luo Chenxi closed the contract and nodded. I'll be there soon. Let's go and get Bai Xianxian and Leng Wuxin. Bai Xianxian and Leng Wuxin were in charge of the Azura Palace, while Morong Qing and Luo Chenxi were in charge of the Art Xian group. There was a huge connection between them. Although they were in charge of 2 departments, they were a family. In a huge private room, among a group of beautiful girls, there was only one man, Lin Xian. Oh no, there was one more person, little Tianny. Order. Feng Ling, you're the guest. You order first. Lin Xian smiled and handed the menu to Feng Ling. All right. Feng Ling glanced at it and thought about it. Wow. Damn you bastard Lin Xian. This was indeed a 5-star hotel. It was true that there were many expensive things, but looking at the dozens of beautiful people around her, who were all Lin Xian's friends or women, how could she have the nerve to cheat him like this in front of this group of people around Lin Xian? She was completely embarrassed. Wait. Were they sure that some of them were Lin Xian's friends? Were they sure that not all of them were women? That was not the case. After all, there were still some that were not in her hands. Not in her hands did not mean that she could not get them, but Lin Xian had not confessed yet. Or rather, he had not really made a move yet. Ahem, whatever. You can order. I'm fine with anything. I'll just order the dishes and soup. Feng Ling handed the menu to Lin Xian, and then secretly glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian laughed in his heart. How dare she fight with him? Linya and the others were in a room. Their team had already expanded to 5 people, and all of them had the power of a demon god. However, there were 3 demon gods on Lin Xian's side. Myriad evil lightning, void killing eyes, and dark mist. Their side could only have 9 at most. Zhao Mingyue walked over and looked at Linya, who was sitting at the side and seemed to be in a completely different world from the other 4. Let me tell you a piece of good news. Zhao Mingyue's lips curled up as she looked at Linya and said. Linya opened her beautiful eyes. I also received the latest news. Your precious little brother already has a daughter and a son. Linya's delicate body suddenly trembled. Little Xian. Little Xian is already a father? I want to go see them. Linya hurriedly stood up and said. Heh, I'm already being extremely benevolent by telling you this news. You still want to see them? Linya secretly clenched her fists. Work hard. The 2 of you will go with Linya to search for the next demon god's power. As for the person who will inherit this power, I'll bring them over. Zhao Mingyue said lightly. Yes, boss. Zhao Mingyue then tossed 2 photos to Linya. Work hard after you're done looking at them. Don't say that I'm not attentive to you. Zhao Mingyue left after saying that. She was only trying to win over Linya's heart. At the very least, it would give her some motivation to continue working, right? Linya hurriedly picked up the 2 photos. They were obviously secretly taken at a certain location. There were several people in the photos. Linglong Shui was hugging Shikachan, and Yi Renbing was hugging little Tianyi. It wasn't very clear, but there were 2 photos that were especially clear. So cute. Linya lightly rubbed the photos as a smile appeared on her face. Is this Linglong? I see. Linya nodded slightly. That very, very beautiful Linglong Shui. But who is the other one? She should also be very beautiful. On the other side, Xiao family. Lin Xian is back. Xiao Yin asked. Yes, young master. He just came back during the day. Xiao Yin lightly rubbed his chin. Since he's back, then the people from Evil God Fire Palace should let him come over. At this time, Xiao Yun's father walked in. Father. Yes, that Lin Xian is back. I reckon that Evil God Fire Palace will let him come over in the next few days. Xiao Yin said. Then how do we make a move? Lin Xian's value would be higher than theirs. At that time, regardless of whether Lin Xian had a higher position in Evil God Fire Palace or not, their Xiao family would no longer have much value to Evil God Fire Palace. Their ending would only be that their position in Evil God Fire Palace would become weaker and weaker, and they would gradually be squeezed dry. This was one of the consequences of Lin Xian joining the Evil God Palace. Therefore, to them, only Lin Xian's death would be good news for the Xiao family, and the normal method of killing Lin Xian no longer existed. It was too difficult. However, since Lin Xian wanted to come to the Xiao family, then it wasn't necessarily impossible. Below the Xiao family was the Evil God Fire Palace. There were also members of the Evil God Fire Palace above them. But there were more Xiao family members above them. At the very least, they could make contact with Lin Xian before he went down, and that was their chance. Don't worry, he will meet us when the time comes. You and he can be considered old acquaintances, so let him die in the Xiao family. Won't the Evil God Fire Palace blame us? Then they have to have evidence that we were the ones who did it, right? Even if they know in their hearts, they won't do anything without evidence. After all, Lin Xian is dead, so our value is still very high. Chapter 1441. During this meal, Feng Ling witnessed what it meant to be surrounded by beauties. Oh my God! It was too scary. In addition to the sisters she had seen before, there were actually a few more sisters. Moreover, they were especially beautiful and had a special flavor. She was really going to be scared to death. Could it be that all of them were? Moreover, Ling Ying and the others were not here yet. Damn. Feng Ling pointed to a few more sisters. It was Morong Qing and the others. The hotel was also stunned. People who didn't know would think that it was a director choosing his concubines. But it was too beautiful. This meal lasted for a long time. They talked about a lot of things and everything. Everyone drank a lot. Little Shir and little Tianny fell asleep in their arms. After that, everyone went back together. Lin Xian Feng Ling didn't care if she cheated Lin Xian of his money. Now those beautiful women. She, as the daughter of the Feng family, had never seen so many beautiful women. What them? Stop pretending. Are they all your women? Lin Xian shook his head. Not all of them. Phew. Feng Ling took a deep breath. Fortunately, it wasn't all of them. If it was all of them, it would be too exaggerated. Oh right. I heard that you have a sister? Which one of them is your sister? Feng Ling suddenly thought of something and asked. Lin Xian sighed. My sister is somewhere else. Ah. Lin Xian smiled and said. It's okay. It's late. Go back and rest. You can go to little Meow Meow and the others. Okay, I know. Where are we going tomorrow? Aren't you going to farm with them tomorrow? Oh right. Then get lost, scumbag. Feng Ling glared at Lin Xian and ran away. Lin Xian smiled and shrugged. Then he walked away. Lin Xian went to Bai Xuanxuan's place. Bai Xianxian and Leng Wuxin had just finished drinking. The two of them sat in the courtyard and enjoyed the night breeze. They drank tea and ate fruits while chatting. Now that you mention it, it's a little unbelievable. Bai Xianxian sat there with her hands on the ground. What happened? Leng Wuxin glanced at her. That Lin Xian is already in the great virtual realm. Thinking about it, I feel like time really flies, but I also feel like it hasn't been that long. The current era is the golden age of the human race. In the next 100 years, the human race will reach a peak. This will also be an opportunity for the human race and the demon race to determine the final victor. Leng Wuxin said calmly. But speaking of inconceivable, she should be the one who found it most inconceivable, right? The first time she had met Lin Xian was in the Great Hall of the Tianhua Academy in Tianhua City. At that time, Qin Xiaotian had been exposed by Lin Xian. She had wanted to save him but had been stopped by a woman. The woman she had seen at dinner tonight. At that time, Lin Xian was only at the profound heaven realm, right? How long had it been since then? 2 years. Back then a group of them had all reached the heavenly venerable realm, and the great virtual realm in such a short time. It was somewhat unbelievable. Yes, the human race and the demon race will probably erupt into the second large-scale war soon. Even if the demon race doesn't make a move, the human race will definitely make a move. The human race may not necessarily want to destroy the demon race, but they definitely need to suppress the demon race's arrogance. At least make sure that the demon race doesn't have the energy and capital to attack the human race for many years. Bai Xianxian sighed. It couldn't be helped. This was the current situation of the continent. The war will probably start in at most 5 years, right? Leng Wuxin said. It's about time. Lin Xian's generation has already risen. When they reached the heavenly venerable realm, they were already rising. It won't be long before everyone in this generation reaches the great virtual realm. The weaker ones will stay in the heavenly venerable realm, but that's enough. The next generation will also rise in 5 years. The human race is almost there, but before that. Bai Xianxian looked at Leng Wuxin with her beautiful eyes and said, the human race must eliminate the internal threat and eliminate the evil fiend temple. The evil fiend temple was indeed a big threat. If the human race and the 3 major forces fought the demon race with all their strength, and the evil fiend temple took advantage of the situation to do something, it would be very troublesome. Isn't Lin Xian going to deal with the evil fiend temple? Leng Wuxin said. Yes. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over. Hey, good evening. Lin Xian giggled as he sat between them. Then he reached out and hugged both women. Bai Xianxian was used to it, but Leng Wuxin was still very unhappy. There are so many beauties here. Why did you come to accompany us? Bai Xianxian said with a smile. Because I like you guys the most. Lin Xian grinned. Perhaps he was a scumbag. It was mainly because Lin Xian had accompanied Lu Yufan, an ex-Xian, and the others during the day. He had also accompanied Linglong Shui and the others previously. Therefore, he decided to come here tonight. On the other hand, Luo Chenxi and Morong Qing. Let's talk about it next time. Oh right, tell me more about the evil god Fire Hall's forces. Lin Xian said to Leng Wuxin. Leng Wuxin then told Lin Xian. This is only what I know, but there may be some deviations. However, there is only a possibility of more and not less. You have to grasp it yourself. Leng Wuxin said. Lin Xian nodded. Alright, I got it. Are you going to make a move? Leng Wuxin asked. It's about time. Tonight, Lin Xian received a message that he did not know who it was, but it was definitely from the evil god Fire Palace. Since he had returned from the Wind Empire, he definitely had to make a trip to the evil god Fire Palace, which was also the Xiao family. They still foolishly thought that they still had their poison in their bodies. In fact, it had long been cured. Moreover, the Yixian group was secretly developing an antidote for the poison pill. When the time came to cooperate with the three great forces, they would definitely be prepared to destroy the evil fiend Hall. Bai Xianxian looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Be careful. Yeah, I'll probably be leaving tomorrow. Let's have a chat before I leave? Lin Xian smirked. I'm on my period. Bai Xianxian stood up and silently walked away. Lin Xian then looked at Leng Wuxin. He didn't leave. After saying that, she got up and walked away. Lin Xian. CKU. Lin Xian had gone to look for Luo Chenxi. As for Morong Qing, he had not gotten her yet. In fact, Lin Xian really wanted to look for Little Bing Bing and Xiao Linglong. However, after thinking about it, it was also good to accompany Luo Chenxi. Well, that woman would probably be resentful. The next morning, Lin Xian was awakened by the sound of his phone. He pulled his hand out and Lin Xian answered the call. I'm already in Lin City. A voice came from the phone. I'll be there later. After saying that, Lin Xian hung up the phone. Luo Chenxi opened her beautiful eyes. Who is it? She also heard the voice on the phone. It did not sound like a good person's tone, and it sounded very careful. Chapter 1442. Lin Xian smirked and stretched out his hand. It hurts. She glared at Lin Xian. I'm from the evil fiend hall. Ah. Luo Chenxi was stunned. Why are you contacting the evil fiend hall? Because I'm a member of the evil fiend hall. Lin Xian smiled. Luo Chenxi. Fake, it must be fake. Don't worry, I'm not a bad person. Lin Xian smiled. I'll make you some noodles, do you want to eat? Eat. Lin Xian pinched her hand and walked into the kitchen. Bastard, it hurts. Luo Chenxi gritted her teeth and looked angrily at Lin Xian's back as he walked away. As for the evil god Fire Palace, they probably wouldn't make a move this time. The evil god Fire Palace thought that Lin Xian was poisoned, so they definitely wouldn't dare to disobey him. They definitely wouldn't have thought that the poison pill that made the entire human race and the three great forces helpless would actually be cured. Eat, I'll be leaving first. Lin Xian looked at Luo Chenxi, who walked out in her pajamas, and put the noodles on the table. You're not eating? I'm not eating, I'm leaving. Lin Xian opened the door and walked out. He could go to Tiandu and meet Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, and the others. He wanted to see if there was a chance to trick them into sleeping on the same bed. Nice. And then there was Morong Yu. Wow. Exciting. Soon Lin Xian arrived at the coffee shop. Young Master Lin. A man stood up with a smile. Lin Xian walked over and sat down. I've ordered the coffee for you. Thank you. Lin Xian took a sip of coffee. Let me introduce myself, I'm Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan stretched out his hand to Lin Xian. Xiao Zhan? From the looks of it, this person should be from the Xiao family. This evil god Fire Palace was in the Xiao family, so it was normal for them to send the Xiao family to find him. Lin Xian nodded. Why are you looking for me? Let's talk about this when we get there. I don't know the details. I'm just someone who's going to bring you there. Xiao Zhan said. Let's go then. All right. Then, the two of them boarded the plane and headed for Heaven Capital. The evil fiend palace didn't send anyone around me over, did they? In the first-class cabin, Lin Xian asked calmly. We respect young Master Lin. Since young Master Lin said not to contact them before this, we will definitely not contact them, let alone let them go. Lin Xian was referring to Ling Ying and the others. Yes. Lin Xian nodded and didn't say anything. It didn't take long for the plane to land at the airport. There was already a car waiting for Lin Xian outside the airport. Young Master Lin, get in the car. Lin Xian walked in. Young Master Lin, long time no see. Xiao Yun sat in the back seat and smiled as he looked at Lin Xian, who was sitting over. When Lin Xian saw Xiao Yun, he revealed a shocked expression. So the Xiao family is also related to the evil god Fire Palace. Lin Xian knew about this, but the Xiao family thought that Lin Xian didn't know. So Lin Xian would definitely pretend that he didn't know. What's wrong? Young Master Lin seems to look down on us. Aren't we the same now? Xiao Yun said with a smile. That makes sense. Drive. Soon the car arrived at the Xiao family. Xiao family? The Xiao family is the evil god Fire Palace? Lin Xian asked in surprise. You can say that. Why? You didn't expect it? That's indeed unexpected. Lin Xian said indifferently. Previously, this young master and young Master Lin had some grudges, but since everyone is a family now, I think this grudge should be resolved, right? Xiao Yun said with a smile. As long as you want to resolve it, then it doesn't matter. Lin Xian said. Haha, that's good. Then they got out of the car. Xiao Yun's father and no less than 10 people were waiting in front of a villa. Since the Xiao family could be in this manner, then they must be from the evil god Fire Palace. Ha ha ha, young Master Lin. Your presence brings light to my Xiao family. Xiao Zhengwo smiled and walked towards Lin Xian. Patriarch Xiao, this should be the first time we meet. Nice to meet you. Lin Xian said with a smile. Ha ha, nice to meet you. Come in and have a seat. Xiao Zhengwo said with a smile. Lin Xian glanced around and said, so Patriarch Xiao is the master of the evil god Fire Palace? Lin Xian pretended not to know. Ha ha ha, of course not. I'm also a member of the evil god Fire Palace. There's no hurry. Lin Xiaozhou must be tired from the journey. He can go to the living room to rest, and have a cup of tea before going to the evil god Fire Palace. Xiao Zhengwo said with a smile. Lin Xian nodded and walked in. Xiao Zhengwo exchanged glances with Xiao Yun and the others. Patriarch Xiao, the palace master said to bring Lin Xian over when he arrives. An old man whispered to Xiao Zhengwo. Xiao Zhengwo said, Lin Xiaozhou must be tired from the journey. Are you sure it's normal to bring him to the evil god Fire Palace? Can't you give him 10 minutes to rest and drink tea? The old man hesitated for a moment. What Xiao Yun said seemed to make sense. And it's best to hurry up. It's just a cup of tea. Moreover, my son and this Lin Xian have known each other for a long time. There are still some things to discuss. We have a good relationship with each other. In the future, the palace master and the others should be able to negotiate better terms with Lin Xian. Xiao Zhengwo wrote. Patriarch Xiao's words make sense. And what was their plan? Kill Lin Xian. How could this cup of tea be simple? There was poison in it. Of course, Lin Xian wouldn't die in the Xiao family like this. He would either die in the evil god Fire Palace below or die outside. At that time, even if they suspected him, what could he do? Who knew that the cup of tea was poisoned? Couldn't he have been poisoned on the way or at some point in time? And even if for some reason they found out about it, Xiao Zhengwo and Xiao Yun had already prepared a foolproof plan. They would bring out a cannon fodder. This cannon fodder would say that he had a grudge with Lin Xian. He couldn't wait to kill Lin Xian and so on. As long as he could kill Lin Xian, he would be willing to die. In any case, Lin Xian's death had nothing to do with the Xiao family. And Lin Xian's side wouldn't make a move against the evil god Fire Palace for the time being. The purpose of Lin Xian's trip this time was to go in and take a look at the general situation inside the evil god Fire Palace. After understanding it, he wouldn't be in a hurry to make a move next time. There was no need to coordinate with the 3 major forces on his first time here. Ha ha ha, poor tea. Xiao Zhengwo walked in and said with a smile. A beautiful girl poured tea for them. I heard that young Master Lin has advanced to the virtualized stage. Xiao Zhengwo took a sip of tea and asked with a smile. And the news spread so fast. Ha ha ha. Who in the major families doesn't know about young Master Lin's matter in the Wind Empire? Lin Xian picked up the teacup and took a sip. The moment he drank it, Lin Xian knew that there was poison in the tea. Chapter 1443. Lin Xian's medical skills were simply too strong. It wasn't that he had learned medical skills himself, but that the system had given him this top-notch ability. It was a fusion of ancient and modern medical skills. Basically, he had everything he could possibly have. Therefore, when Lin Xian drank this cup of tea, he also roughly knew how poisonous this poison was. The poison was very strong, but it wasn't intense. With his cultivation, even if he couldn't cure the poison, it would take at least 2 to 3 hours for there to be a reaction. So this Xiao family wanted him to die outside. So it had nothing to do with them, right? Lin Xian laughed in his heart. Then how could he let them do as they wished? The matter of the Wind Nation is also a farce. Lin Xian then drank the tea in one gulp and said, "This tea is pretty good." Xiaoyan laughed in his heart. It was very good. A tea that could make people die was definitely very good. Ha ha ha, if young Master Lin likes it, I'll bring you some when we go back. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Sure. Xiao Zhengwo laughed in his heart. It seemed that this Lin Xian didn't have any suspicions. Did he think that since they were all members of the evil god Fire Palace, everything would be fine? What is the approximate strength of this evil god Fire Palace? Lin Xian asked. This. They looked at each other. What? I'm also one of them. Am I not qualified to know? Or does Patriarch Xiao think that I can't get any position with any status? Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Zhengwo laughed. Of course not, this evil god Fire Palace is right below the Xiao family. Is it a cave? Lin Xian asked. Ha ha ha, of course not, it's a secret realm. Lin Xian suddenly realized. No matter how big the hole was, it would never see the light of day. It was a bit exaggerated for the evil god Fire Palace to live in a place where they couldn't see the light of day. F***ck. Lung Wuxin actually didn't tell him. However, she didn't say it because she felt that there was no need to say it, because it wasn't important at all. Cultivating in the secret realm? Not bad, Lin Xian said with a smile. Of course. Moreover, there is a teleportation array in the secret realm that leads directly to the demonic beast domain. Actually, our evil fiend temple doesn't mainly kill people to increase our cultivation. We mainly kill demonic beasts to increase our cultivation. They often go out to increase their cultivation, Xiao Zhengwo said. Lin Xian muttered to himself. Inside, there was a passage that led directly to the demonic beast domain. In other words, this was also their escape route. If he encountered any danger, he could directly enter the demonic beast domain through the teleportation array. This was something that Lin Xian had to resolve. The secret realm was a good thing, because everyone could fight in the secret realm. They didn't have to worry about the explosion of power that would harm the lives of the people around them. However, the premise was that Lin Xian had to cut off their path of retreat. This should be easy because Lin Xian had the law of destruction. When the time came, they would work together from the inside and outside. The evil fiend temple definitely couldn't be dealt with in a short period of time, but the evil god Fire Temple had to be dealt with. However, to Lin Xian he had to play a bigger game of chess, and that was to find the evil fiend temple, not just deal with the evil god Fire Temple. And Lin Xian had the capital to do so, as long as he was doing well. Therefore, at least during this period of time, he would listen to the evil god Fire Temple and win their trust. Then he would find the location of the evil fiend temple. That's good. Where are we going to the demonic beast domain? Lin Xian asked. Haha, young Master Lin can go and ask. What I say here is not as clear as what the people of the evil god Fire Temple can say. Xiao Zhengwo laughed. All right, then I'll go. Young Master Xiao, let's drink together when you're free. Lin Xian laughed. Xiao Yin smiled and nodded. Of course. Drink when you're free. Men, please bring young Master Lin to the evil god Fire Temple. Young Master Lin, please follow me. Xiao Zhan said to Lin Xian. Following that, Lin Xian followed him and walked away. Father. Xiao Yin looked at Xiao Zhengwo. Xiao Zhengwo laughed and said, when the time comes, Wait for the good news. That Lin Xian will at most stay in the evil god fire temple for an hour or two. At that time he will probably die outside. There is absolutely no one in the entire sky capital who can cure this poison. Even if there is someone in this continent who can cure it, it will be too late. Xiao Yin sneered in his heart. This time, could this Lin Xian still be fine? Could he still not die? Why didn't he die this time? His performance just now was that he didn't realize that he was poisoned at all. It was also because this poison was more powerful. On the other side, Lin Xian was brought by Xiao Zhan to a seemingly ordinary back garden of the Xiao family. Then he walked in front of a rockery and pressed on a stone. The entire rockery, including the pool below, moved backwards and revealed a passage that led downwards. Young Master Lin, go down and you will reach the evil god fire temple. Someone will receive you below, Xiao Zhan said to Lin Xian. Got it, thank you. Lin Xian then walked over. He remembered all of this in his heart. As for obtaining evidence, there was no need. At least, there was no need for it now, nor did he dare to. No matter what method he used, they would be able to detect it. After all, this was the evil god fire temple. However, in their eyes, Lin Xian had eaten the poison pill, so there was nothing to worry about. This passage was about 20 meters underground, and then there was a straight underground passage. Soon Lin Xian arrived at a space. In this space, there were about 20 people sitting there eating. They seemed to be a small team. When they saw an unfamiliar person walk in, they put down the food in their hands and looked at Lin Xian. You are? Lin Xian. I am here to find your hall master. Lin Xian said indifferently. Lin Xian? You are looking for the hall master? Who are you? One of them frowned and looked at Lin Xian. Shut up. At this time, an old man sitting in the corner opened his eyes and looked at Lin Xian. Then he bowed slightly. Young Master Lin, this old man is the evil god fire temple's fifth elder. Lin Xian cupped his fists. Greetings, fifth elder. And young Master Lin, please follow me. Then he waved his hand and opened a teleportation door in front of him. Following that, the two of them stepped in. Who is this Lin Xian? Why is the fifth elder personally receiving him? The fifth elder has been here for half a day, right? Just to receive him? Those people discussed animatedly. That Lin Xian from the Yixian group. Someone said. It's him. First place in the Sky Martial Assembly. Hiss. Hearing this, they took a deep breath. That is to say, he has joined the evil god fire temple. The evil god fire temple will definitely nurture him. Don't talk nonsense. His Yixian group is extremely useful to the evil god fire temple. At the same time, there is also a very strong Azura palace. With this Lin Xian's potential, I'm afraid it won't be long before he becomes a member of the main hall. Chapter 1444. Lin Xian arrived at the evil god fire palace. Needless to say, this secret realm was really not bad. In the entire secret realm, there were mountains, rivers, lawns, and birds singing and flowers fragrant. As far as the eye could see, there were many people sitting in certain corners and cultivating on certain mountains. This secret realm wasn't big, it was about the size of a small county, but the spiritual energy of heaven and earth here was still relatively dense. Although warriors could level up by killing monsters, they could also absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and meditate to increase their experience points. Otherwise, many years ago, when there was no God's child system, how could they cultivate? The entire space was relatively beautiful. There were more mountains, but they weren't too tall. One could see that there was basically a person sitting there cultivating on top of every mountain. Then, there was the most eye-catching existence that was similar to an ancient castle. About 20 to 30 meters tall. That was about 10 floors, but each floor should be very big. The fifth elder said to Lin Xian, "This is our secret realm, and at the same time, it is the headquarters of the evil god fire palace. There are many spiritual items of heaven and earth in the secret realm, so the spiritual energy here is relatively dense." Not bad, Lin Xian said indifferently. He. Indeed, young Master Lin's Azura Palace is probably not bad either. More or less. The Azura Palace was relatively small, and the 9-colored holy lotus had already given birth to its own intelligence. That was why the Azura Palace's spiritual energy was so dense. Although the spiritual energy here might not be as strong as the 9-colored holy lotus, there should still be an existence similar to the 9-colored holy lotus. Thinking about it, the evil god fire palace was very strong, so it was reasonable for them to have such a thing. Normally, you can just find a place with no one around to cultivate, as long as you don't disturb others. There is a special martial arts arena there, and there are many rules in the evil god fire palace. However, young Master Lin probably won't stay here for long, so these rules aren't important. Over there. The fifth elder pointed to the castle in the distance and said, "This is the real evil god fire palace. Only a few special people and elders can enter the castle, and my evil god fire palace's hall master is inside." "So are you going to bring me to see the hall master now?" Lin Xian asked. "Ha ha ha. Of course, with young Master Lin's talent and status, not to mention the evil god fire hall, he might even have quite a bit of status in the evil god hall's main hall. Naturally, the hall master should be the one to receive him." The fifth elder smiled and said, "Come with me." Then they walked into the castle. The first floor was a very large hall, but there was no one in sight. "Hall master Lin Xian is here," the fifth elder said as he clasped his fist in the air. "Yes, let him come up." A voice came from an unknown place. "Yes." Then the fifth elder looked at Lin Xian and said, "Young Master Lin, go straight up. The hall master is at the top." "All right." Lin Xian nodded and walked up. On the top floor, there were two beautiful girls wearing revealing clothes standing there, smiling at Lin Xian. "Young Master Lin, please come in." They guided Lin Xian before pushing open a huge door. Lin Xian walked in. The entire space was very large and magnificent. A table was filled with food, and beside it stood a few beautiful women. On the other side sat a middle-aged man, and then there were 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men were old men, and the woman looked relatively young and somewhat seductive. She glanced at Lin Xian and licked her scarlet lips. Lin Xian gave them a cursory glance. He could not see their realms clearly. Lin Xian was now at the 3rd level of the Great Void Realm, which meant that they were at least at the 9th level of the Great Void Realm. They might even be at the Heavenly Dao Realm. Yes, the possibility of them being at the Heavenly Dao Realm was rather high. Lung Wuxin told herself that the evil god Fire Hall's Hall Master was at the Heavenly Dao. As for the others, she wasn't sure. There weren't any in the past, but it had been 2 years. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that the evil god Fire Hall might not be just that. "Ha ha ha, I've been waiting for you for a long time." The evil god Fire Hall's Hall Master smiled as he looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said with a smile, "I made a trip to the Wind Nation for some matters. I heard that you went to the Wind Nation and nearly wiped out the Wind Nation's Chu family. You're really young and promising." The Hall Master said with a smile, "Have a seat." "Thank you. Young Master Lin, come sit with me." The charming woman winked at Lin Xian. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly before sitting beside her. She casually placed her leg on Lin Xian's lap. Lin Xian. "Ha ha ha, young Master Lin, don't mind her. Mengyang is just like that. She can't move when she sees a handsome man." Lin Xian pushed her leg down with a smile and nodded. "I'm flattered. Let me introduce myself. I'm the evil god Fire Hall's Hall Master. You can call me Hall Master from now on." Lin Xian nodded. "This one." The Hall Master pointed to the old man beside him and said, "He's our great elder." Lin Xian nodded. "Greetings, great elder." The old man nodded. "Young Master Lin, you don't have to be so polite. This is the 2nd elder." The Hall Master pointed to another person. "Greetings, 2nd elder." And the 2nd elder nodded. "Mengyang, this is the 3rd elder." Lin Xian glanced at the woman beside him. She was a bit powerful. These 2 were old men, and this woman was at most in her early 30s. Moreover, she was actually the 3rd elder. "Greetings, 3rd elder." Lin Xian nodded and said, Just call me Mengyang." She took off her high heels and rubbed her leg against Lin Xian's leg. Lin Xian. Then a beautiful girl walked over and poured a glass of red wine for Lin Xian. "This red wine is good. It's something that the Great Elder has kept for decades. Today's reception of young Master Lin can be considered to have made the Great Elder bleed. The evil god Fire Hall's Hallmaster said with a smile. The Great Elder nodded and said, "Good wine is used to entertain capable people. I don't think it's a big deal to entertain little brother Lin." "Then thank you, Great Elder." Lin Xian took a sip and nodded. "It's indeed a good wine. Let's eat." Then they ate the food. Lin Xian, what do you think of my evil god Fire Hall? The hall master cut the steak and asked. Not bad, it's better than I imagined. I originally thought that this evil god Fire Hall was hidden under the Xiao family's ground. Lin Xian laughed. Ha ha ha, after all, it's the evil god Fire Hall. How could it not see the light of day? This sovereign knows that you have resentment in your heart for joining the evil god Fire Hall. After all, in everyone's eyes, the evil god Fire Hall is an evil sect. And in fact, it is indeed so. But it's just a difference in philosophy. I believe you can understand. Lin Xian nodded his head. Of course I understand. Anyway, I don't think it matters. I won't kill people for fun. Evil god Fire Hall won't force me to kill people, give me freedom. And I can even get resources. To me, strength is everything. Nothing else is important. Chapter 1445. Lin Xian's words were rather pertinent. And in their eyes, Lin Xian had been poisoned by the poison pill, so they believed him. The main thing was that he was not hypocritical at all, and felt very sincere, because this was the truth. But the most important prerequisite for this truth was that Lin Xian did not sincerely want to join the evil god Fire Palace. Although you are a member of the evil god Fire Palace, you have the freedom of an elder. The evil god Fire Palace won't interfere with what you do outside. You just have an additional identity. You should grasp your own freedom. Our evil god Fire Palace will also give you the resources you deserve. Moreover, the evil god Fire Palace will train you to enter the evil god main palace for the purpose of feeding you. Lin Xian rubbed the tip of his nose. Why should I go to the evil god main hall? I'll just stay in the evil god Fire Palace. I don't need any power or status so troublesome. Ha ha ha. The evil god Fire Palace's hall master laughed out loud. Lin Xian, oh Lin Xian, it's really hard to find a second person with your mentality in this world. Others do everything for power and status, but you don't want it. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and said, That's what I think. To me this is nothing, isn't it? Even if it's the evil god Fire Palace's hall master, to me, is this position very high? Ha ha ha. The evil god Fire Palace's hall master laughed and said, What you said is not without reason. To you in the outside world, your position is indeed not too low, but if... The evil god Fire Palace's hall master looked at Lin Xian and said, What if one day, the evil god Fire Palace becomes the overlord of this continent, and the three great forces all bow their heads and submit to them? Lin Xian shook his head. Although I am also a member of the evil god Fire Palace, I only want to say that this is impossible. Ha ha ha, is it impossible? Then do you think that my evil god palace exists on this continent, just to survive in the shadows among the three great forces? Just for this? Lin Xian glanced at him. Could it be that the evil fiend temple has some powerful plan? The hall master of the evil god Fire Hall smiled and said, You should know once you enter the main hall. To be honest, you've already been noticed by the people in the main hall. It might even be the hall master of the main hall. He might try his best to nurture you. Everyone had seen Lin Xian's heaven-defying prowess. In fact, many people were well aware of his ranking among all the young geniuses on this continent. Even if he wasn't at the top of the list, he was close. In some people's eyes, the first place of the Sky Martial competition didn't mean anything, and that was indeed the case. However, Lin Xian's strength wasn't limited to the first place of the Sky Martial competition. How much potential did he have? What were his attributes? How many realms could he cross? These weren't big secrets to those who had deliberately investigated him, unless Lin Xian hadn't revealed them to the world. For example, the space attribute, the time attribute, the creation law, and the destruction law were all in one body. Just this reason alone was enough for any force to use all their resources to nurture him. Under normal circumstances, Lin Xian could directly go to the main hall and become a core member of the main hall. However, they would first leave Lin Xian in the Evil God Fire Hall to train, and at the same time check his loyalty before making a decision. Lin Xian nodded. All right then. Do you have any other requests for the Evil God Fire Hall? The Hall Master asked. Yes. Previously, you didn't restrict my freedom, didn't force me to do some missions that I didn't want to do, didn't kill people, and so on. I still have one last request. Speak. I hope that the Evil Fiend Temple will not disturb the people around me, including Ling Ying, Murong Yu, and the others who have already become members of the Evil God Fire Hall. Even if they are now members, I hope that the Evil Fiend Temple will not have any contact with them. Lin Xian. That's not a problem. The Hall Master of the Evil God Fire Hall nodded without hesitation. Although there were people like Murong Yu, Ling Ying, and Han Chuxue, and the others who represented great forces behind them, if they could obtain them, it would be of great help to the Evil Fiend Temple. But the time was not ripe. Whether it was the Ling family or the Han family, they were not under their control, so they could not give the Evil Fiend Temple any benefits now. For example, Murong Yu, although her father was the master of the temple, and seemed to feel that it was very powerful to turn the master's daughter into a member of the Evil Fiend Temple, what could he do? At most, he could let her steal some things from the temple. However, even if she was Murong Feng's daughter, it was impossible for her to know the secrets of the temple. Therefore, even Murong Yu could not help the Evil God Fire Hall much right now. Thus, they might as well agree to Lin Xian's request. In any case, they could not help the Evil God Fire Hall right now, but they would be able to help one day. Good. If I hear any of them tell me that the Evil Fiend Temple has asked them to do anything, then the Evil Fiend Temple will deceive me. Even if I die, I will never compromise on anything for the Evil Fiend Temple. Lin Xian said. Ha ha ha. No problem. The Evil God Fire Hall Master laughed. Then it's time for my Evil God Fire Hall to raise the conditions, right? The Evil God Fire Hall Master said. Lin Xian nodded. Speak. The Yixian Group has the most abundant capital in the entire continent. Even if it's not the case now, it will be in the near future. No matter what force it is, it cannot escape the need for abundant capital. Therefore, the Evil Fiend Temple needs the capital injection of the Yixian Group. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. How much? It's not a question of how much, but when we need to do something and lack money, we need the Yixian Group to pay. Lin Xian nodded his head. Paying is a small problem, but there might not be a way in the near future. After all, you should know that the Yixian Group has taken out almost all of their money to buy over Linen City, so they don't have a lot of money for the time being. I've heard about this, so there's no rush. So now there's the second thing. Since Linen City has become your territory, then I just happen to need to make Lin and City the second headquarters of the Evil God Fire Hall. With you here, this shouldn't be difficult, right? It shouldn't be difficult to protect them. Lin Xian nodded. It's not difficult. To Lin Xian, this was a good thing. He could also grasp the whereabouts of the Evil God Fire Hall in Linen City, so why not? Alright, the third thing is, can your Azura Palace be used by the Evil God Fire Hall? He asked. Lin Xian frowned. Chapter 1446. Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then said. The Azura Palace is mine, and I am a member of the Evil God Fire Palace. Of course there's no problem, but there's a prerequisite. Speak. I have many friends in the Azura Palace. If I do anything, I need to know first, and I have the right and qualifications to decide whether or not to do it, including the Yixian Group. I will help, but there are some things that I will weigh, and how much I will help. Although I am a member of the Evil God Fire Palace, at the same time, those are my lifeline. The Evil God Fire Palace Master nodded. Of course. Including, I don't want anyone from the Evil God Fire Palace to enter the Yixian Group, enter the Azura Palace to take charge of anything, and operate anything. No matter what the Yixian Group is like now, it's up to whoever manages it. The Evil God Fire Palace Master hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Originally, this was his next condition. Although the Yixian group belonged to Lin Xian, he still hoped that there would be his own people in charge of the Yixian group. However, since Lin Xian had said so, he could only do so. What about the shares? You should at least give me some shares, right? I want it too. Mei Nyang's feet rubbed against Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "There's no problem with the shares. I will give you a portion of my shares, but it will not exceed 20%. 20%, isn't it a bit too little? Any more and you'll have real power." Lin Xian said. "Ha ha ha, then there's still no trust between us." Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and said, "What do you think, Palace Master?" "Ha ha ha, straightforward. All right, 20% is 20%. 20% of the Yixian Group's shares is not a small amount." The evil god Fire Palace Master nodded. "Men, bring the contract." Then he looked at Lin Xian. "You should have the company seal with you, right?" Lin Xian nodded. "All right. Don't worry, I'll leave a portion of the shares in my hands. I won't interfere in anything, and I won't sell these shares that will be more valuable in the future." Lin Xian nodded. Lin Xian didn't care. In any case, Morong Feng had already said that no matter what, he would first rely on the evil god Fire Hall if he could accept it. Finding the evil god Fire Hall's main hall was the most important thing. The temple would reimburse him for any losses. After signing the contract, the rest was up to them. It wasn't difficult at all. "Is there anything else?" Lin Xian asked. "That's all for now. Happy cooperation." Lin Xian nodded. "It's a pleasure working with you. From today onwards, you are the 6th elder of the evil god Fire Palace." "Me? That's right. The 6th elder has fallen, and it just so happens that it's empty. Then you'll be the one to sit in this position. You'll enjoy top-notch privileges and freedom. With your strength, you're qualified to sit in this position." Lin Xian nodded. "Sure. Here." Then he threw a token to Lin Xian. "This is the symbol of your identity. From today onwards, you need to keep your identity a secret from everyone. This shouldn't be too difficult, right? Of course, if you don't keep it a secret, the poison in your body will detonate. You must keep it a secret as well." The evil god Fire Palace Master laughed. "Then when can the poison in my body be removed?" Lin Xian asked. "Wait until you've obtained complete trust. This order needs to be given by the main hall master or the elders. This sovereign also doesn't have the qualifications to remove your poison." Lin Xian nodded. "Understood. Then there's nothing else I need to do next, right?" "No, you just need to focus on raising your cultivation." Lin Xian stood up. "Don't touch Lin and City for the time being, because I'm about to go to the God's Awakening Door. I'll be able to make it in time after I return from the God's Awakening Door, right? Anything is fine. Your cultivation is the most important thing." The evil god Fire Palace Master said. Lin Xian nodded. "Then, do you have any other questions about the evil god Fire Palace?" Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then shook his head. "No." Just as Lin Xian finished speaking, pft, Lin Xian spat out a mouthful of black blood. Then he clutched his chest and staggered backward. Zung. At this moment, the three of them stood up. "What's going on?" They suddenly frowned. "He's poisoned." Mei Nyang glanced at him and said, "What?" The evil god Fire Palace Master frowned. Lin Xian then sat down cross-legged, as if resisting the poison. That's right. This was the poison that Xiao Yun and the others had put in the tea. Lin Xian had deliberately not removed the poison. "Damn it. You poisoned me. Do you think I'll let you live? Dream on. Quickly get the antidote." The evil god Fire Palace Master shouted. "Yes." Then, Mei Nyang hurriedly ran out. Nothing must happen to Lin Xian. After the antidote entered his stomach, Lin Xian's condition immediately improved. When Xiao Jiangwo and the others took action, they must have thought that the evil god Fire Palace would definitely detoxify Lin Xian. Then the poison they used was definitely not something the evil god Fire Palace could detoxify. However, at this time, the poison seemed to have been detoxified, but it was actually removed by Lin Xian himself. Lin Xian wiped the black blood from the corner of his mouth and stood up. "How is it?" the evil god Fire Palace Master asked. Lin Xian chuckled and said, "Hall Master, This is a good show of strength. You must have poisoned the food, right? How is that possible? I came to negotiate with you with infinite sincerity. How could I poison you? And even if I could poison you, why would I detoxify you? The evil god Fire Palace Master said. Not you? Then it must be outside. Let's cancel our cooperation. What do you mean? The Palace Master frowned. Lin Xian said with a mocking smile. The evil god Fire Palace can't even guarantee my safety. There are even people in the evil god Fire Palace who want to kill me and poison me. How do you expect me to cooperate with you with peace of mind? You mean to say that you were poisoned here? Lin Xian nodded. Since I came here, I haven't eaten anything. Other than this meal, I only drank a cup of Xiao family's tea outside. So since it wasn't you who poisoned me, I have reason to believe that I was poisoned when I was in the Xiao family. Tell me, how can I cooperate like this? How would I dare to cooperate? Don't worry. The evil god Fire Palace Master said. Leave the Xiao family's matters to me. I definitely won't let them live. Give me some time and I'll give you an explanation. The evil god Fire Palace Master said. To them, the Xiao family was no longer of any value. Furthermore, they had almost ruined their plan and almost killed Lin Xian. If Lin Xian hadn't been poisoned here, he would have been doomed if he went out. Therefore, he was very angry at this moment. All right. Then I'll wait for your good news, Palace Master. I'll take my leave first. Lin Xian smiled in his heart and turned to leave. Chapter 1447. Lin Xian walked out of the evil god Fire Palace's secret realm and arrived at the Xiao family. When the Xiao family saw Lin Xian, they were not surprised at all. It would be best if he didn't get poisoned in the evil god Fire Palace. As long as he got poisoned outside, no matter how he died, they wouldn't be able to link it to them, right? Even if they did, what evidence would they have? And how could Lin Xian let them have an easy time? How could Lin Xian not know that benefits were the most important to the evil god Fire Palace? Now that he had joined the evil god Fire Palace, the benefits that the Xiao family brought to them were no longer important. The benefits that the Xiao family gave to the evil god Fire Palace were the Xiao family's huge businesses, and no matter how big they were, could they be bigger than the Yixian group? However, having a Xiao family was better than not having one. But since that was the case, he had to make a choice. It was impossible for him to kill everyone in the Xiao family, but at the very least Xiao Zhengwo and Xiao Yun, who Lin Xian had mentioned, would definitely die. Lin Xian obviously knew that killing them was too easy for the evil god Fire Palace's hallmaster. However, he told him that if he gave him some time, he would definitely kill them. Why did he need time? That might be because he wanted to use a more silent method to kill them, and at the same time, not attract the attention of the Xiao family. Then, the other members of the Xiao family would take over, and he would still be able to control the Xiao family's business. Young Master Lin, are you done chatting? Xiao Yun saw Lin Xian walk out and asked with a smile. He felt so comfortable in his heart. There was nothing more comfortable than Lin Xian dying. And I'm done. How was it? Xiao Yun asked with a smile. It's all right, I was only given the position of 6th elder. Nothing else. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and said, Xiao Yun. Xiao Zhengwo. As expected, 6th elder. This 6th elder had almost all the power in the evil god Fire Palace. Just like his Xiao family, who had worked hard for so many years and brought so many benefits to the evil god Fire Palace, Xiao Zhengwo had only become the 18th elder. What was the status of the 18th elder? To give the simplest example, the 6th elder had the qualifications to order some members of the evil god Fire Palace to do something, and the 18th elder might be the one who was ordered. Xiao Zhengwo let out a long sigh of relief. As expected, this evil god Fire Palace was indeed going to put Lin Xian in an important position. It could be seen from the power and status they gave him. Fortunately, they had poisoned him. Once Lin Xian died, the Xiao family would be fine. If Lin Xian didn't die, the Xiao family's status would definitely be suppressed. 6th elder is already very good. Xiao Zhengwo smiled and said, I think so. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. I still have some things to do, Lin Xian said. See you later, Xiao Yun said. All right. Lin Xian nodded and walked out. Xiao Yun snorted coldly. The next time they met would be when they saw his corpse. Father, it's fortunate that we poisoned him. Otherwise, with his immense power, our Xiao clan would be in grave danger. Xiao Yun said. I don't think he has more than 2 hours to live. As long as he leaves the Xiao clan and gets poisoned again, he can't blame it on our Xiao clan. Xiao Zhengwo sneered. Go, send someone to keep an eye on him. Xiao Zhengwo rode. Yes. On the other side, Lin Xian was happily walking on the bustling streets of Tiandu. He had only been to Tiandu 3 times. The first time was when he visited the Ling family and the Han family during the New Year. The second time was when he went to the Divine Domain and passed by this place on his way to the Sanctum. Lin Xian didn't have much interest in big cities. Damn it, he couldn't even find a remote place to pee at night when he had to hold his pee. It was really annoying. Lin Xian then took out his phone and sent a message in the group. He at Di Lingying, Han Chuxue and Morongyu. Little Yingying, little Chuxue, little Yuyu, I'm in Tiandu. Come out and play. When the other girls saw this message, they were all very unhappy. They at Di Lin Xian and sent him emojis. For a moment, the group was in an uproar. What are you playing? Lingying then asked in the group. I'm not going. Family gathering. Morongyu sent a message. Han Chuxue also replied. Family gathering. Lin Xian. Damn. What day is it? Why are you all having family gatherings? Little Yingying. Why aren't you having a family gathering? Lin Xian asked. Today is the Qingming festival. I'm going to pay my respects. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Lingying said. I've already paid my respects. I'm almost done with my lunch. If it's not enough, I have to chat with Grandpa and Grandma for a while. That's why I have time at night. Lin Xian sat on the street. Ah. So boring. Then, Lin Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. Little Yuyu, can I go to your house? Morongyu frowned slightly. She really didn't want Lin Xian to come to her house right now. Why? Her mother seemed to have discovered something a while ago, and kept talking about the problem between her and Lin Xian. She kept trying to get information out of her. In the end, she had no choice but to tell her about the relationship between her mother and Lin Xian. Now her parents were looking at Lin Xian as if he was their son-in-law. But she had a headache. Don't come. What are you doing here? Morongyu refused. Lin Xian scratched his head. Damn. Little Yuyu actually refused him? Something was wrong. Little Yuyu. Is there a man visiting your house? Tell me. Morongyu. Yes. Morongyu replied. Damn. Wait for me. I'll go over right now. Morongyu. She sighed helplessly and glanced upstairs. There was indeed a man visiting downstairs. Then do as you wish. Morongyu shook her head helplessly. I don't know if it's true or not. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. It didn't matter if it was true or not. Lin Xian also wanted to tell Morongfeng about the situation in the evil god Fire Palace. Then why don't you come over tonight? Lingying asked. I'm not coming. I'll see tomorrow. I'll stay on little Yuyu's bed tonight. Morongyu. You're dreaming. I don't care. Tonight, your bed belongs to me. Morongyu. She then helplessly sent a I'll strangle you to death emoji and walked downstairs. In the living room downstairs, Morongyu and Morongfeng's mother, Linyu, were sitting on the sofa. On the other side there were 2 men. One of them looked to be around 26 or 27 years old. He was very handsome. Moreover, he also displayed a kind of superior quality. Beside him was a middle-aged man who also didn't look simple. Ha ha ha, we haven't seen each other for several years. Yi Haitao smiled as he looked at Morongfeng. Morongfeng nodded. That's right. Brother Yi, we haven't seen each other for several years. What have you been doing these past few years? Yi Haitao smiled and said, developing human forces in the demon beast domain. Chapter 1448. This Yi Haitao was a bit powerful. He was Morongfeng's cousin. He was a distant cousin. However, anyone who could establish a relationship with Morongfeng would definitely not be simple. On the continent, the three major forces were the pinnacle. The three major forces controlled the continent and ensured the safety of the people. Simply put, the three major forces were the national departments. Although the five major empires were five empires, they were actually one family. However, other than the three major forces and some individual forces, there were certainly other national forces that were similar to the three major forces. However, they were not as strong or as large as the three major forces. Yi Haitao's force was called the Anti-Demon Alliance. It was not under the jurisdiction of the three major forces, and was an independent organization. It might be under the jurisdiction of the ultimate ruler behind the three major forces, such as the Radiant Association. The Anti-Demon Alliance could be understood as the most dangerous organization in the entire human race. This was because the responsibility of the members of their organization was to infiltrate the demon race. Simply put, their members might be in the demon beast domain every day. They might even steal information from demon beast organizations. They were dancing on the tip of a knife every day. It was indeed worthy of admiration. Oh. The human race is planning to establish a force in the demon race? How do they do it? Morongfeng asked curiously. If the demon race can rope in the human race, can't the human race rope in the demon race as well? Currently, the main mission of the Anti-Demon Alliance is to rope in some demon clans in various places in the demon beast domain, and use them to form our organization. Morongfeng slightly muttered. Is it that easy to achieve? It's not easy. However, it's slowly becoming a reality. Even if the probability is small, the reward is small, it's still useful. Yi Haitao said. Actually, I feel that sometimes, there's no need to do things with small rewards. Yi Haitao laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, we need to eat. After all, there are so many people in the Anti-Demon League that need to be fed. Fortunately, everyone is in the demonic beast domain every day. Although it is more dangerous, the improvement it brings is also great." Fifan has also joined the Anti-Demon Alliance? Morongfeng smiled and looked at the 26 or 27-year-old Yi Fifan. Yes, I feel that this is something I want to do. Good. As expected of an expert from the God's Awakening Door. Fifan, you should be about to break through to the Heavenly Tao, right? Yi Fifan nodded. But the Heavenly Tao realm is too difficult. I don't know when I'll be able to break through. Ha ha ha, it's only a matter of time. You can advance to the way of heaven. The human clan will soon have another way of heaven. Congratulations. If you advance to the way of heaven, you will become one of the youngest people in the history of the human clan to advance to the way of heaven. Morongfeng nodded with satisfaction. Those are all false reputations. The most important thing is to improve myself, Fifan said. Ha ha ha, you're right. Wife, go make some food. Lin Yu nodded. Have some tea, I'll go cook. Brother Morong, Yi Morongfeng Yi Haitao looked at Morongfeng, then took a sip of tea and said, Brother Yi, please speak. Morongfeng nodded. My son. Yi Haitao patted Yi Fifan's shoulder and said, You also know that my son has liked Xiaoyu since he was young. After so many years, he still hasn't forgotten Xiaoyu. In order to be worthy of her, Fifan has been cultivating with all his might. He's preparing to break through to the Heavenly Tao realm at such a young age. Morongfeng nodded. That's right. No wonder this kid can break through to the Heavenly Tao realm at such a young age. Fifan has liked Xiaoyu since he was young. After so many years, he's not young anymore. He's already 27 years old. Xiaoyu, that girl, should be 22 or 23 years old, right? Morongfeng nodded. So, I don't know what Brother Morong means. Today, I've brought Fifan here to propose marriage. I also hope to give Fifan and Xiaoyu a better family. Yi Haitao said. Uncle Morong, I really like Morongyu. Yi Fifan looked at Morongfeng and said. Ha ha. Morongfeng smiled and said. It's an open society now. It's not like the ancient times where parents' words were spoken. Children's matters should be decided by children. As a father, I don't care. I only care about one thing, and that is Xiaoyu's future husband. Whether he's a good person or not, I won't meddle in other matters. However, this girl Xiao Yu should be very obedient to you, Brother Morong. Morong Feng nodded. Yes, this girl is indeed very obedient. However, this kind of matter depends on the children's own choice. I won't meddle. Fifan is also very outstanding. If my daughter likes him, I'll be very happy. Then I'll work hard. Yi Fifan said. Ah, good. At this time, Morong Yu came down from upstairs. Xiao Yu. Yi Fifan looked at the extremely beautiful Morong Yu. He was so excited that he couldn't express it with words. Too beautiful. If his wife was her in the future, he would have enough in this life. Uncle Yi cousin. Morong Yu shouted and then sat beside Morong Feng. Ha ha ha, Xiao Yu is becoming more and more beautiful, Yi Haitao said with a smile. Many thanks for Uncle Ye's praise. What realm is Xiao Yu in? She just reached Taisu, Morong Yu said. Not bad. It's very good. You're stronger than my Fifan. When you come out of the God's Awakening door, I'm afraid you'll be in Tian Dao, Yi Haitao said with a compliment. Morong Yu said, that won't happen. It's already very good to be able to improve a little. Unfortunately, although I came out of the God's Awakening door, I already forgot what happened inside. Otherwise, I could give you some reminders. Yi Fifan said. It's all right. It's all the same. On the contrary, the unknown is a kind of experience, Morong Yu said indifferently. Ha ha ha, Xiao Yu's realm is still very high. At this time Morong Yu's phone rang. Dad, I'm going to pick someone up, Morong Yu said. Okay. Soon after Morong Yu walked out. Brother Morong, do you have a guest today? Yi Haitao asked. Morong Feng said with a smile. Xiao Yu just told me that a friend is coming over as a guest. Xiao Yu's friend? Morong Feng nodded with a smile. Then he must be a very rare genius. Outside, Lin Xian waved at Morong Yu. Morong Yu walked out and opened the manor's door. You really came? Of course I came. I said that I want to sleep on your bed, so I will definitely sleep on it. Lin Xian grinned. Chapter 1449. Morong Yu felt helpless. Actually, under normal circumstances, she wouldn't have thought much of it. But now that her parents knew about her relationship with Lin Xian, Morong Yu felt very awkward. She didn't know what kind of feeling this was. She felt that Lin Xian was a taboo that couldn't be mentioned or seen. Hey, what's with that look? Lin Xian looked at Morong Yu, then reached out and pulled her slender waist into his embrace. Morong Yu broke free. Wow. You despise me. Morong Yu. No. Then you won't let me hug you. I'm not your girlfriend. Why should I let you hug me? She asked. You are. No. Yes. No. Morong Yu then walked in. Hey, wait for me. Lin Xian followed with a grin. Wow, your house is so big. Lin Xian glanced at it and was stunned. It was really big. Previously, Lin Xian had only been to the temple. This was the first time Lin Xian came to Morong Yu's house. Morong Yu couldn't be bothered to answer Lin Xian's question. Damn. Don't you know that you're rich? How dare you praise someone else's house for being big? Then Lin Xian's next sentence made her stumble. The bed is probably big too. Morong Yu. There's a guest here. I'll take you to the other house first. If you're looking for father later, I'll get him to look for you. Morong Yu stopped in her tracks and turned to look at Lin Xian. What guest? I can't go? It's nothing. An old friend of my father's. Old friend? Then why can't I go? They can talk among themselves. I'll go to your room and chat with you, Lin Xian said with a smile. Then I'll go to another room with you, Morong Yu said. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Something's wrong. Lin Xian said. You're hiding something from me. Morong Yu. Well, she was indeed hiding something from Lin Xian. Wasn't it Yi Fifan? It wasn't that she didn't want Lin Xian to know, but she was worried that there would be some conflict. She couldn't agree to be another person's girlfriend behind Lin Xian's back. She just said that she felt that if Lin Xian knew, Lin Xian would be unhappy. Nothing, Morong Yu said. You stole a man, Lin Xian said. Morong Yu was confused. Scram, she said coldly. Then what are you afraid of? Lin Xian then walked towards the largest villa. Hey! Morongyu quickly chased after him. Click! Lin Xian opened the door and walked in. Let me tell you, I'm very polite. Lin Xian said to the worried Morongyu behind him. Then the few people inside all looked at Lin Xian. Morongyu truly believed that something might have happened between Lin Xian and Yi Fifan. After all, Lin Xian was simply too good at causing trouble. Even if he didn't cause trouble, he was still a hothead. Moreover, he was especially impulsive. Therefore, she didn't want Lin Xian to know about it. In fact, it was a small matter. Lin Xian glanced at them. This is... When Yi Haitao saw Lin Xian, he frowned and showed some interest. They knew Morongyu quite well. Originally, when Morongyu said that she was going to pick up a friend, they all thought that it was a girl. After all, they had never heard of Morongyu having a male friend. However, when Lin Xian appeared, they were very surprised. This Morongyu was actually picking up a male friend? Morongyu actually had a male friend? Yi Fifan frowned. Something was wrong. Haha, Lin Xian. Why didn't you tell me that you were coming? And Xiaoyu, why didn't you tell me? Morongfeng stood up with a smile. He suddenly said that he was coming. Morongyu said indifferently, and then sat on a separate sofa. Sit. Morongfeng said with a smile. Thank you, Uncle Morong. Lin Xian smiled, and then sat beside Morongyu. Morongyu moved her but to the side. Yi Fifan frowned suddenly. Little Xian, come have some tea. Morongyu's mother Lin Yu walked out with a smile. Hello, Auntie. Lin Xian stood up and greeted her obediently. This was the first time Lin Yu saw Lin Xian. However, Morongyu had shown her a picture before. He wasn't very handsome, but he was quite good-looking. She could see that her daughter was also thinking about him. She had also done her research on this person's character. There was no problem with his character, potential, and background. He was just a bit lecherous. However, her position was also very high. Her husband, Morongfeng, was very single-minded. However, she had also seen many passionate people. It was very normal for them to have 4 or 5, or even more than 10 wives. Because she had come into contact with them many times, she was able to accept it. As long as her daughter was able to accept it as parents, they wouldn't say anything. The main thing was that this person was good. Because the more outstanding girls liked him, the more outstanding he was. It was impossible for every girl's eyes to be wrong, right? Okay, sit, have some tea. Lin Yu smiled and poured a cup of tea for Lin Xian. Thank you, Auntie. Lin Xian said sweetly. I'm going to cook. You guys can chat. Today, I'll let you try Auntie's cooking. Lin Yu finished speaking and walked into the kitchen. Morongfeng then said to Yi Haitao, this is my daughter's friend Lin Xian. He was the champion of the Tianwu tournament, and also the champion of the Martial Arts Academy. So he was the champion of this year's Tianwu tournament. I've heard of him. Yi Haitao smiled and nodded. My son was also the champion of the Tianwu tournament. You guys can interact with each other. Yi Haitao said with a smile. Oh, that's really amazing. Lin Xian said with a smile. It's nothing. I was just lucky. Yi Fifan said. Morongfeng said with a smile. Your luck isn't enough. Brother Yi, let's go drink and chat. Yi Haitao nodded. Okay. Then they walked away, leaving only the 3 of them in the living room. Morongfeng was helpless. If Lin Xian and his daughter were in a relationship, he would have directly rejected him. He would have said that his daughter had a boyfriend and she liked him very much. However, his precious daughter said that they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. At most, they were just friends. Then what could Morongfeng do? He couldn't do anything about his arrogant daughter. Young Master Yi, do you smoke? Lin Xian took out a cigarette and handed it to Yi Fifan. Yi Fifan glanced at it and said, yes, but Auntie doesn't like the smell of cigarettes. So I won't smoke. Lin Xian nodded and lit a cigarette for himself. Yi Fifan frowned. Did this person have no EQ or what? He even lit a cigarette for himself. Chapter 1450. Lin Xian puffed out a cloud of smoke and then leaned back on the sofa. The way he behaved made it seem as if he was at home. Morongyu felt helpless. Lin Xian crossed his legs and asked, "What are you doing here, young Master Yi?" "I'm here to play." Yi Fifan smiled and said. Suddenly he frowned. "Damn you. Why are you asking me questions like the owner of this place?" "What about you, young Master Lin?" Yi Fifan asked with a smile. "Me too. I see. I was surprised when I heard that Xiao Yu's friend was a boy. You guys should be in the same team in the Tianwu competition, right?" Lin Xian nodded. "Yes, is young Master Yi going back tonight?" Yi Fifan was speechless. That's right, Lin Xian's sudden question had stunned him. Going back tonight? Isn't that nonsense? Wait, is he not going back? Yi Fifan smiled and nodded. I should go back. Why are you asking this? Morong Yu was speechless. She knew it. She knew that Lin Xian would be smug and cause trouble. Oh, I was thinking that if young Master Yi didn't go back, we could play cards tonight. Since young Master Yi is going back, forget it. Lin Xian said with a smile. Morong Yu was speechless. Lin Xian, Yi Fifan's eyes narrowed slightly. What did he mean? Did he mean that he wouldn't go back tonight? Why? Why didn't he go back tonight? Wasn't he just friends with Morong Yu? Play cards? Sure, I haven't played for a long time. I won't go back tonight. Yi Fifan smiled. Forget it. I suddenly remembered that I have something to do with Xiao Yu tonight. Let's play another day. Yi Fifan was speechless. Xiao Yu? He called her Xiao Yu and you called her Xiao Yu? Ha ha ha, if there is anything I can help you with. Yi Fifan said with a smile. No, you can't help. Oh, tell me what it is. Lin Xian smiled and said. Little Yu, did you not tell young Master Yi? I'm in a hurry to make a baby with her. After saying that, Lin Xian smiled and hugged Morong Yu's slender waist. Yi Fifan. Morong Yu was confused. F*CKU. Morong Yu knew that this bastard would do this. Ah. Yi Fifan narrowed his eyes. He didn't believe in creating humans, but Lin Xian's hand was wrapped around Morong Yu's waist, and Morong Yu only subconsciously struggled a little before she allowed his hand to touch her. This proved that the relationship between Morong Yu and him was not ordinary, but the struggle made him understand that they were not a couple. But why? Morong Yu actually let him hug her? Morong Yu actually wanted to remove Lin Xian's hand. She was not used to it, but she knew that if she removed Lin Xian's hand, Lin Xian would lose face. She sighed helplessly in her heart. Yi Fifan smiled and said, Young Master Lin, it seems that your relationship with Xiao Yu is not ordinary. You should be good friends. Are young Master Yi and Xiao Yu friends? Yi Fifan nodded. Yes, but I'm here to propose to Uncle Morong. He had to lay his cards on the table. What right did this person have to compete with him for Morong Yu? In fact, Lin Xian had already guessed that even if he was not here to propose, he must like Morong Yu. So, why did Lin Xian directly reach out and hug Morong Yu? I see. Lin Xian withdrew his hand, took a drag of the cigarette and said, Young Master Yi, you can go now. Yi Fifan frowned. Hee, why do you say that? Yi Fifan smiled and said, Because Xiao Yu already has a boyfriend. Young Master Lin, are you talking about yourself? Lin Xian nodded. Ha ha ha. Yi Fifan smiled and said, But Uncle Morong just said that Xiao Yu has no boyfriend. So I'm here to talk to Uncle Morong about this. Yi Fifan smiled disdainfully. I'm here to talk about this too. So let's see what Uncle Morong says. Lin Xian scratched his head. Why should we see what Uncle Morong says? Shouldn't we see what Xiao Yu says? Lin Xian said. Yi Fifan glanced at Morong Yu. He knew that even if Morong Yu didn't choose Lin Xian, she wouldn't choose Yi Fifan. Yi Fifan even suspected that this Lin Xian was Morong Yu who knew that he was here to propose marriage, so she specially asked him to help her put on an act so that he would back off. It was possible. Otherwise it wouldn't be so coincidental. The most important point was that when Lin Xian hugged Morong Yu was obviously uncomfortable. If they were boyfriend and girlfriend, would she be uncomfortable? However, Lin Xian knew that if they were boyfriend and girlfriend, she would still be uncomfortable, especially when there were other people around. Because this was Morong Yu. She had never thought about what it would be like to have a boyfriend one day, let alone being intimate with her boyfriend when there were other people around. In her opinion, It was simply unacceptable for her to see couples hugging and holding hands on the road. Ha ha ha, it's fine. Yi Fifan smiled and nodded. I'll get some fruits for you. Morongyu quickly walked away. What do you think, daughter? Which one do you choose? In the kitchen, Lin Yu looked at her daughter with a smile. Morongyu bit her lips. My head hurts. Morongyu shook her head and then cut the watermelon. You're not young anymore. It's time to decide who you want to be with. Although it's easy for you to find a boyfriend, you have to like him. That Lin Xian is not bad. Choose him. Lin Yu said. Mom, you've had sex with him in the divine realm for half a year. What's wrong? Do you not like him or what? If you don't like him, then forget it. If you like him, then why are you still hesitating? Lin Yu smiled and rubbed Morongyu's hair. Got it. Morongyu muttered. Outside, Lin Xian and Yi Fifan didn't say anything. The two of them leaned on the sofa and played with their phones. Morongyu brought the fruits and said, I'll help you cook. After saying that, she slipped into the kitchen. Soon a table of delicious food was placed there. Everyone, it's time to eat. It smells good. Morongfeng took a breath and then nodded with satisfaction. Honey, I don't usually see you cook so much for me and Xiaoyu. Morongfeng said with a smile. Aren't we guests? Lin Yu said with a smile. Xiao Xian Fifan, you two quickly take a seat. Coming, Auntie. Lin Xian ran over with a smile. Wow. Auntie, your cooking is so good. Uncle Morong is so happy. Auntie is beautiful, good at cooking, and virtuous. Uncle Morong is so lucky. Lin Xian said with a smile. Bootlicker. Yi Fifan gritted his teeth. Chapter 1451. A bootlicker? Yes, that was true. However, there were times when one couldn't bootlick. There were times when one could and needed to bootlick. For example, right now, a junior was praising his mother-in-law and his elder for being beautiful. Everyone knew that he was bootlicker, but the other party would be very happy. The other party knew that he was bootlicker, but he was happy. This was different from bootlicker, especially in front of other people. Of course, there was a prerequisite. The other party had to have a good impression of you for the bootlicker to be effective. Morongyu shook her head helplessly. This Lin Xian, Morongfeng smiled in his heart. This Lin Xian was quite sensible. Ha ha ha, little Xian, what you said is quite reasonable. He is indeed very lucky. Lin Yu said with a smile. Then she handed Lin Xian a pair of chopsticks. Yi Fifan. How could this be? Lin Xian said with a smile. Auntie, do you know? What? Lin Xian said with a smile. The first time I saw Morongyu was at the Martial Arts Academy. At that time, I was curious. This woman is so beautiful. How beautiful must her mother be to give birth to such a beautiful daughter? When I saw Auntie for the first time today, I wanted to say that Auntie is really beautiful. Uncle Morong being able to marry Auntie is simply a blessing of 8 lifetimes. Isn't that right, Uncle Morong? Morongfeng. F***ck. He was unhappy with this sentence. However, he still had to say yes. Ah yes. I must have accumulated the good fortune of 8 lifetimes to be able to marry such a beautiful wife, and have such a beautiful daughter. Morongfeng said with a smile. It's good that you know, Lin Yu said with a smile. Come. Little Xian, have a drumstick. Lin Yu smiled and gave Lin Xian a drumstick. Thank you, Auntie. Wow. Auntie, your hands are so beautiful. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Ha ha ha, is that so? Lin Yu smiled. Yes, like mother like daughter. Morongyu's hands are also beautiful. Sure enough, Auntie's hands are very beautiful. Although Morongyu is already beautiful, in my opinion, there is still a gap between her and Auntie. Lin Xian laughed. Morongyu. Damn bootlicker. Ha ha ha, she is my daughter after all. Come. Little Xian, try this red braised meat. Lin Yu smiled and gave Lin Xian another piece of braised pork. Originally, Lin Yu liked Lin Xian a lot. Although they didn't have any contact with each other, she found that this person was really good except for being a little lecherous. This person was even willing to sacrifice himself for some things. The simplest example was when Tianhua City fell into enemy hands. How many people had he risked his life to save? This kind of righteousness was something that very few young people possessed nowadays. At least she could be sure that if her daughter were to follow him, this person would not abandon her daughter and run away if they encountered any danger. Umph. Yi Fifan snorted coldly. Why did he feel that this Lin Xian's bootlicker was actually effective? How is the taste? Lin Yu asked with a smile. It's delicious. Morong Yu cooked for me before. I thought that the taste was very good. But now, I feel that her cooking is just so. She and Auntie still have a lot to learn. Lin Xian laughed. Morong Yu. Morong Feng couldn't stand this Lin Xian anymore. Wow. How could he be like this? Ha! Lin Yu beamed with joy. Yi Fifan clenched his fist tightly and lowered his head to eat there. How could this person be so thick-skinned? Auntie, when you go shopping with Morong Yu, do people think that you are sisters and try to hit on you? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Haha, there have been a few times. Lin Yu said with a smile. I guess so too. Lin Xian nodded. Cough cough. Morong Feng coughed and said, Little Xian, have you made preparations for the God's awakening door? Lin Xian shook his head. Not yet. Anyway, we don't know what's going on inside. We'll talk about it when the time comes. I say, Morong Feng, I'm having a good chat with little Xian. Why are you interrupting? Lin Yu was unhappy. Morong Feng. Cough cough cough, you guys talk. Morong Feng was helpless. Yi Haitao glanced at his son and realized that his son didn't seem to want to talk. He quickly gave Yi Fifan a look. Yi Fifan obviously saw that Lin Xian's bootlicker was effective, but he didn't know how to do it. Moreover, he was very embarrassed, okay? He clearly knew that what he said wasn't true. Or it could be said that he was exaggerating. He couldn't adapt to what he said. Morong Yu lowered her head and ate. She was also helpless and didn't care about what Lin Xian said. Auntie, I have a pill here. Lin Xian handed over a pill to Lin Yu. What kind of pill is this? Lin Xian. This is called the face-retaining pill. Although Auntie is very beautiful and young, she might be angered by Uncle Morong every day. It will definitely have some effect on her skin. This face-retaining pill can let Auntie retain her youthful appearance. Although it can't be said to achieve the so-called eternal appearance, it can definitely let Auntie not have to worry about the so-called things that women worry about for 10 years. Although Lin Yu's realm wasn't too low, it was obvious that she had advanced her realm later on. For example, if you reached the Empyrean realm at the age of 22, then you would still look like a 22-year-old at the age of 80. But if you reached the Empyrean realm at the age of 40, then you would look like a 40-year-old at the age of 80. To put it simply, the earlier one ascended to a higher realm, the more perfect one's appearance would be, like that of a 20-year-old. Therefore, Lin Yu was still worried about things like eye bags, small crow's feet, and skin that wasn't as tender as before. This can it really be done? Lin Yu was stunned for a moment. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Yes, after Auntie takes it, Auntie's appearance will definitely crush Morong Yu's and let Auntie return to her 27 or 28-year-old appearance. Ha! Yi Fifan smiled and said, I say, young Master Lin, have you been deceived by someone? And Lin Xian glanced at him. I've lived for so long, but I've never heard of the face-retaining pill in reality. Those are all imaginary things on TV. Did young Master Lin see a leaflet somewhere in the supermarket and mistake it for real? That's definitely not something good. Yi Fifan smiled and said, Motherf *Ker, I finally found a chance to speak and fight back against this Lin Xian. Morong Feng also glanced at Lin Xian. Yi Haitao said, This is very normal. This kind of thing is a gimmick. It's used to cheat those ignorant girls of their money. In fact, it doesn't have any effect. Instead, it may be harmful. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.